Ciao, ciao, dosto. We
Ciao,
are live.
ciao.
We are live. Ciao, ciao, everyone. As always, me and Ajay bhai are here for another episode. Of course, that never goes away. यार मतलब अजय भाई मतलब अभी वीक ऑन वीक एपिसोड्स करके यार सेरिया को देख के there is something or the other happening. Like one week you're talking about sackings, one week you're talking about a coach saying something that doesn't stop though somehow some way or the other some or the other coach always has to say something. But right now, actually, funnily enough, we are in the midst of the SuperCoppa. Actually, kal the SuperCoppa started, and obviously Napoli are through to the final just like that. Obviously ये चार टीम का फॉर्मेट जो recently 2 साल से अडॉप्ट हुआ है. But obviously वो सब तो बात करेंगे. I'll get your thoughts. But how are you doing? How's everything going?
In an alternate timeline, परम अपन सऊदी अरेबिया में होते हैं इस वक्त, building up to Bologna versus Inter. But
Exactly.
unfortunately, I think इस साल तो हो नहीं पाएगा. अगले साल hopefully हो जाए और हम लोग जाए सऊदी. Whoever is playing, 4 teams
Yeah.
playing. We hope that we can go there and bring everyone, some content and some great videos, and obviously, cover the 3 games, the 2 semi-finals and the finals. But खैर इस साल नहीं हो पाएगा. अगली साल देखेंगे क्या होगा. I'm doing well otherwise. Big game coming up in Serie A also. It is Juve
Hmm.
Roma. Obviously, we'll speak about all of that. But yeah, I mean, looking forward to a great weekend of action in Calcio, which ends on Monday with the
हाँ.
SuperCoppa final.
या एग्जैक्टली बहुत कुछ है बात करने के लिए. सेरिया तो रहेगा ही ऑब्वियसली. जो टीम सुपर कॉपा खेलेंगी वो लोग अपने पोस्टपोन गेम्स कभी तो बाद में खेलेंगे ही. बट या देयर इज अ लॉट टू टॉक अबाउट. बहुत कुछ हुआ कल का गेम भी बहुत फाइस्टी था. अलेग्री एंड ओरियाली गोइंग एट इट ऑन द टच लाइन. अलेग्री ने भी बहुत चीजें बोल दी. एंड ऑब्वियसली नापोली गॉट द बेटर ऑफ एसी मिलान देयर इन अ फाइनल. एंड फनीली इनफ, I think first of all, let me like obviously good to see RS in the house, and hopefully more people will keep joining in. But एक funny चीज ये सुपर कॉपा के बारे में डिस्कशन हुआ है अजय भाई कि there are a lot of people or at least even the coaches have been saying that it should obviously ये नया फॉर्मेट है mainly पैसे की वजह से, right? ज्यादा पैसा involved, then plus
Of
you play
course.
abroad. But Kivu also said this in his press conference that Inter and AC Milan technically do not deserve to be playing this because it should be between the winners of the league and the Super and the Coppa Italia, obviously, as
Yeah,
simple as
yeah,
that, which should be
yeah,
Napoli
yeah.
versus Bologna. And I personally, on a traditional basis, मैं agree करता हूँ. आपके क्या thoughts है? Just briefly touching on this topic because
मेरे को
even
तो
Conte,
मे-
हाँ,
I agree with it 100%. I think जो एक the one credit that I give to the English is that the
हाँ,
English have got their competition formats एकदम spot on, their cup competitions. I know there is an additional tournament which is the Carabao Cup, the League Cup. But अगर तू देखेगा उनका जो Community Shield होता है, it is the
yeah,
first fixture of the calendar year. It is the league winners versus the cup winners. If not the, if the league and cup winners are the same, it's the second place team. So वो एक जो format है is wonderful. And even actually अगर तू देखेगा परम, ये अपन ने
हाँ,
डिस्कस भी किया है, the FA Cup is mind blowing. What a tournament, what a super bracket that you get. Every club has access to the FA Cup. You start from the first round में सारे जो 9 डिवीजन है, 10 डिवीजन टीम्स है इंग्लैंड में जो सेमी प्रोफेशनल है, उन लोगों को भी मौका मिलता है. और तू
yeah,
वही चीज तू कोपा इटालिया में देखेगा तो इट इज सच अ स्टूपिड फॉर्मेट. इट्स प्रोबेबली द वर्स्ट फॉर्मेट. लाइक आई डोंट थिंक सो एनी अदर टॉप 5 लीग हैज गॉट सच अ horrible format than the Copa
yeah,
Italia. It is bad. And Super Copa में भी, like, I know ये commercial reasons है ये वो, but I still feel परम अगर ये format भी है, I would have wanted this to happen in the before the first match day in Serie A. Like you
mm-hmm.
put it as the first tournament because it is a Super Cup. वैसे भी तुम बाकी तो सब Super Cup, European Super Cup तभी खेलते हो. Play it
Mm-hmm.
before the season starts. You get a winner. First trophy is out of the way. Not in December, like close to Christmas, or in the middle of the season, last season, जैसा January में था. ये तो मतलब utter woke nonsense है. अभी क्या बोलूं यार. It is sad, but it is what it is.
Yeah, definitely Super Copa. I still feel obviously it does hold some value because एक और वो एक discussion होता है कि how important is it? Should you field your strongest
It,
11?
it, it is valuable, no doubt. It's just that the organization can be better.
डेफिनेटली बिकॉज ऑब्वियसली एट दिस पॉइंट जब आप दिसंबर में खेलते हो फैंस का मेन कंसर्न रहता है कि आपके कोई प्लेयर ज्यादा थक ना जाए, ज्यादा इंजर ना हो जाए, एंड ऑब्वियसली वही एक रिस्क रहता है बिकॉज यू प्लेइंग इट राइट इन दिसंबर, you know, in the midst of so many competitions, especially with the extended Champions League format and whatnot. But whatever, it is what it is. We even Conte actually said that, you know, he kind of took a pot shot in general, saying we have qualified for this on merit. You know, we didn't get an invitation. But again, ये भी एक चीज है कि इनवाइट नहीं है, मतलब दिस फॉर्मेट नाउ हैज बीन नोन फॉर 2 years. There is no surprise. It's not like teams get invited, you qualify for it either as runners up of the Coppa or the Serie A. So I mean, lot of discourse going on. पैसा अच्छा है इसके लिए, 8 million if I'm not wrong, 8 to 9 million, which is fair money. And obviously there are some clubs in there who have a very good fan base in Saudi Arabia. Inter and Milan, especially, obviously Bologna might not have that, and even Napoli don't. But yeah, I mean, hey, it has its plus points. And honestly, they go now. You're there, you have to play it. You can't really complain. It's not like you once your team is in there. अजय भाई, आप ऐसा नहीं चाहते कि आपकी टीम फालतू खेल के निकल जाए. मतलब it just doesn't feel right, right? So it is what it is. Napoli is in, Bologna Inter tonight, and Meto. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, we'll come to it. But yeah, I think what do you want to start with today? किस बात पे discuss करने आपको आज?
Let's start with the Bologna Inter game. Chintan is joining in 5 minutes. Then we can wrap up the whole Milan Napoli game, and then we can move on to the game week in Serie A, which obviously includes the big clash between Juve and Roma.
Hmm. Definitely, definitely. But yeah, so you want to take over? You want to uh, whatever it is, Bologna Inter. I'll pull up the lineups, predicted
Yeah.
lineups.
Pull up the predicted lineups. I want to know, Param, as an Inter fan, अभी माहौल क्या है? What is the mood? Because Kivu, obviously तूने mention किया, Kivu came out and said that we don't deserve to be here. It has to be between Napoli and Bologna. But having said that, you guys have a great chance in terms of eliminating Bologna and getting into the final to play contest Napoli. So what is the scene around the
Hmm.
Intercap?
डेफिनेटली आई कम टू दैट. ऑब्वियसली आरएस फ्योरेंटीना पे तो डेफिनेटली थोड़ा बात करेंगे. आप लोग कमेंट्स लाते रहो. बट या सी मूड ऑफ कोर्स, वो लिवरपूल लॉस जैसे हमने बात की वो थोड़ा बेटर था. उसके बाद ऑब्वियसली हम जाके जेनोआ में जीते, जो ऑब्वियसली 4 साल के बाद हुआ. मैंने ऑब्वियसली, अगर आपको याद है, प्रीव्यू में प्रेडिक्ट किया था कि हम जेनोआ से हारेंगे या ड्रॉ करेंगे. एंड ऑनेस्टली वो गेम कंफर्टेबल था, अनलेस वी ओनली मेड इट complicated for whatever reason. अगर आप देखोगे जेनवा ने जो गोल मारा, it just came out of nowhere, and the last minutes of the match got very complicated for absolutely unwanted reasons. But generally we managed the game very well. So the mood, honestly मैं बोलूं, मैंने प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंसेस देखे, प्री मैच प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंसेस कल. मूड अच्छा है. The players are in good spirits. Like they were asked about how Kivu uplifted the team after UCL final. Same jazz. मूड अच्छा है. इट्स जस्ट दैट, जैसे बास्टोनी ने भी बोला, वी देर स्टिल काइंड ऑफ फाइंडिंग देमसेल्व्स अगेन इन टर्म्स ऑफ दैट लेवल ऑफ लास्ट सीजन. बिकॉज आई थिंक एविडेंट है कि थोड़ा ड्रॉप ऑफ है और वो रहेगा. मतलब गोइंग इनटू दिस मैच ऑब्वियसली देयर इज अ गुड मूड. Unfortunately, Denzel Dumfries is out for 3 months. That's the big talking point. Like he's out for a long time, and obviously उसने अपने agent भी बदला है, which means you're not going to get to see much of him. And mostly this summer he leaves, whatever it is. पर उसकी इंजरी है. So now the biggest talking point is, will Inter sign a right wing back in January? If they do, will they sign a veteran on low cost, or will they make a future investment right away? So that is the big talking point. But other than that, mood wise ऐसा कोई issue नहीं है. Hakan is luckily not injured, so he's available. Darmian is back. Mkhitaryan is there. Lautaro and Barella and all are expected to be rested tonight because they play a lot. But otherwise, I think mood acha. It's just that there is that bit of frustration, as I keep saying, ki we've not drawn a single game this season. If you go and check
It's
the
been
stats across all,
it's been
yeah,
wins or losses.
wins or losses. So it's
Yeah.
it's weird in a way because you don't want to lose so many games, Ajay bhai. But then you think about it, your team is either winning or losing. Kabhi draws can also be frustrating, but obviously getting 1 point is better than getting no point in the league, right? Or even in the Champions League. So forget that. But the mood, yeah, the mood is fine. It's just that I feel we can be in a better place now. Aaj ka game complicated hai, Ajay bhai. I think for a competition like the SuperCoppa, a Bologna is perfect. Like to go on and believe that they can win it. They did it in the Coppa Italia. I feel they are well positioned to do it this competition as well. Us pe aate again, but mood wise, again, I think the players are fine. I just think they are also finding themselves कि हम कैसे उस अलग लेवल पे या फिर लास्ट सीजन के लेवल पे कैसे पहुंचे फिर से. That's the big question mark right now. So yeah.
How are Bologna going to line up? Any players that are missing?
Yeah, मैं गजेटा में वही पुल अप करने का ट्राई कर रहा हूँ, बट गजेटा फॉर सम रीजन डज नॉट हैव द सुपर कोपा लाइनअप्स, व्हिच इज वेरी वियर्ड. Let me basically anyways tell
Italian
you.
Italian newspaper does not have the Italian Super Cup.
Yeah, which is
Unbelievable.
crazy. मतलब क्या ही बोलूं, मतलब गजेटा the most well known newspaper. So let me just pull it up on Footmob anyways. अब क्या ही कर सकते हैं, which is crazy. मैं वही गजेटा का वेबसाइट देख रहा था. Here it is. Here, yeah. So Bologna के लिए obviously again उनके main injuries Remo Freuler I think obviously he's a key part of that team, and he's been out for a while, and Casale is also not there, but other than that you have Emil Holm, Heggem is there, Lukumi है. अगर आप जानते हो Lukumi ने Juventus के against क्या किया, obviously he should have been sent off for that. Luis Ferguson है, Cambiaghi, Orsolini, Odegaard, Castro, Moro, Ravilia. It's a solid side. अजय मैं आपके भी thoughts लूंगा, but this is a solid team. Again, Odegaard, former Inter academy player in form. Castro just picked up form. Heggem और Lukumi का pair very solid. It's just that they've had 2 losses of late. Obviously, अजय आपने देखा. I mean, if I exclude the not losses, 2 win. Obviously, one loss and 1 draw. But they've been good. They've still been very solid. इंटर के लिए क्या अवेलेबिलिटी है, मैंने जैसे बोला, यू डोंट हैव डम्फ्रीज, अचेरबी इज आउट फॉर अ मंथ इफ आई एम नॉट रॉन्ग. Palacios and Darmian I think are on the bench. Palacios I don't count. Hakan is also on the bench, but they won't risk them. And predicted lineups में आता हूँ. But what is your thoughts on Bologna? Do you think if you see if this is the squad that plays, I think they're obviously more than capable enough to cause a lot of problems and then try to win this. क्या बोलते हो आप?
100%. उनका है ना, देख तू ही बोला था परम, they hadn't lost a game since over a year at the Della, and then
Yeah.
now they've lost 2 on the bounce. They've lost to Juve, and uske pehle they had lost to Cremonese in a very surprise defeat against
Yeah.
Cremonese. Obviously, no one saw that coming. But वही है कि obviously उन लोग यूरोप में भी खेल रहे हैं, तो उनका वो एक गेम मैनेजमेंट भी, प्लेयर मैनेजमेंट का भी एक इशू आता है, बिकॉज उन लोग भी मिड वीक गेम्स खेल रहे हैं. जो सेल्टा विगो का अगेंस्ट विन था was very impressive, because Celta Vigo, I think previous weekend had beaten Real Madrid at the Bernabeu, and they were at home, like Bologna were away, and then you saw the old guard coming into. तूने old guard बोला, मैं old guard बोल रहा हूँ. By the old guard I mean Bernardeschi and Immobile. I don't think so Immobile is at 100% fitness to face Inter, but Param, I think Inter will have to be wary about these two guys in cup competitions. Matlab, you never know when when Bernardeschi scores a clutch goal, or Immobile comes in and gets like he converts a penalty. Matlab, off the bench also I feel Bologna will be trying to use the substitutes wale options. हमने देखा कि इटालियानो आजकल मतलब लास्ट 1.5-2 साल से एक प्लान बी पे भी जाता है. Typically he is an attack minded coach, but against Milan, especially in the Coppa Italia finals, in these games, they don't mind sitting back and absorbing the pressure जो suffering बोलते हैं हम लोग. So एक प्लान बी भी है अभी बोलोनिया के लिए. It's not only plan A. So I think it's going to be a good clash, Param, and I feel that, like you mentioned, Bologna would be kind of confident that they can go and pick up another piece of silverware, and why not? I mean, they've rightfully earned their place to be here, and they'll be dreaming about going all the way in Riyadh.
Yeah, और obviously Italiano के भी comments पढ़ रहा था pre game, and again he knows what to expect from Inter in a way, because उसने कल point out किया कि Inter does play a bit more vertical, a bit more aggressive, so उसको पता है ऐसे टीम्स को कैसे हैंडल करना है. Obviously it's easier said than done, but again उसके पास पीसेस है. जैसे मैं अगर बोलूं, obviously the big miss here is Remo Freuler, because वो defensively really solid है. Midfield में उसको निकोला मोरो की जगह खेल लेता, but Moro has had a bit of a mini revival. He was about to leave in the summer. Then again, it's just that he knows how to get the best out of ये जो underrated, kind of under the radar players. Again, Odegaard was an Inter reject and he was not that good. He had his revival in his career. Now he's so important. Castro फॉर्म में आ गया है. Cambiaghi अगेन, आप जानते हो मैं इस पॉडकास्ट पे जब भी Cambiaghi का मेंशन होता है मैं कितने बार बोला हूँ, never reached his potential, but right now you're seeing flashes from the guy Juan Miranda technically beautiful from that left side. Emil Holm has put his injury issues behind. So it's a very balanced 11 that can honestly cause problems in any phase. चाहे वो कॉम्पैक्ट रहे, चाहे थोड़ा अग्रेसिव खेले. और आपने बोला बेंच ऑप्शंस भी देखो. Obviously they have Bernardeschi right now just hitting form. It's a very solid team overall, and you cannot absolutely underestimate them. They can cause problems in any shape or form. Yeah, and on the Inter side of things, अगर मैं predicted lineup पे आऊँ और कैसे shape up कर सकते हैं आज, ये थोड़ा फुटमॉप का गलत है obviously. Josep Martinez is definitely starting in goal. Bisek you have, De Vrij in middle and Bastoni as the left centre back. On the right you have Henrique for sure because Dumfries तो 3 महीने के लिए injured है. DiMarco is also expected to start, and Zielinski, Mickey, and I think Fratesi are expected to start. Fratesi exactly, not Barella. And up top you have Thuram and Boni, not Lautaro Martinez. So they're trying for a different dynamic there. I think Kivu will try to basically, because Dumfries available nahi hai, and because Dumfries, those crosses are kind of limited right now, he'll try to cause problems with Thuram and Boni's versatility up top. It remains to be seen if that will work, because Thuram thoda out of form hai ever since his injury. He's not been, his E game has not been there, and वो थोड़ा kind of उसको form में आने को time लग रहा है. So it remains to be seen if he can manage Lukumi and Hegem, but definitely Boni से तो मैं अच्छा ही game expect कर रहा हूँ. Zielinski is one to keep an eye on, because Zielinski is really playing well ever since just getting that confidence of having more game time. बहुत अच्छा खेल रहा है, and apart from some silly errors here and there, he really is right now one of the key players in the team. बाकी तो मतलब I think Bologna will target that Luis Enrique flank, because Luis Enrique is doing all right. मतलब he's playing it very safe. He's, I think, afraid to take risks while going forward and do that extra bit of thing.
He is the least Brazilian player that I've watched in recent times. Against Liverpool. And with that, I'm welcoming Chintan also. Chintan is also here. Obviously, we will speak about Milan Napoli immediately after this.
But you don't have to. It's okay. You don't have to.
नहीं तू आया तो बात करना ही है. But Param, and then Chintan, let's quickly take the predictions. क्या लगता है Param? Bologna versus Inter tonight.
Yeah, so just capping off as to what I was saying, I just think they'll try to take advantage of Luis Enrique's side, because he's just a bit of a shy player. But yeah, the KG game लग रहा है मेरे को. लग रहा है either normal time में like anybody wins with a very narrow score line, या फिर penalties पे. अगर penalties पे गया then मेरा money होगा Bologna पे definitely. अगर penalties पे गया तो definitely.
मैं तो उल्टा बोलने वाला था. मेरा तो prediction में penalties में जाने वाला है.
But the thing is, we are not good at penalties, right? Like you saw that two years ago, Atletico Madrid, the only good penalty taker we have right now, if this is the 11 that plays, Zielinski hai, it is really only Zielinski, because Hakan agar he's not going to play, so your best penalty taker is not there. Acerbi is like your second best penalty taker. He's injured. You can't really trust Lautaro with penalties because he's very 50-50. Thuram is all right. So there's no good penalty.
इतना critical यार तू यार. Thuram, like Lautaro is a striker यार. He will eventually, if it's a penalty, he'll take it for sure.
No, but his penalty record is very bad यार. मतलब it's average, not bad. I would say it's average ना. तो वही मतलब penalties पे I would give it to Bologna. मतलब but yeah, what do you guys think? What do you guys think will happen?
अरे तू prediction दिया ही नहीं बराबर वाला. I'm saying the game is going to go into penalties and Inter will win it. Chintan तू क्या बोलता है?
I think Inter is going to win it in normal time.
अरे बाप रे.
ठीक है. अब अभिजय बोलता है कि परम predicted a 3-0 PSG thrashing in the final. He's gone for a 1-0.
मैं तो आके खुद ही बोला था हारेंगे, तो डेफिनेटली अभिजय obviously
ये कबीर का पॉइंट है तो सही. This कबीर का पॉइंट है तो सही. Has Param played anything other than a narrow result or a draw? He's being very pessimistic.
No, I have whenever we play Lecce and whenever the opponent is Di Francesco, I always go for a thrashing. So
yeah, which is why you recorded your Diwali message and greeting from his office. But moving on, Param, if you can just pull out the screen from last night. Chintan, what happened there, bhai? Yeah, what is this behavior? Antonio Conte winning a cup game and going into the final. Unbelievable.
Yeah, एक तो मिलान ने क्या सेट कर दिया कि आपने कैसे Conte को कप गेम जीतने. And Chitara, before I get your opinion, the funniest thing, Ajay, by what he said yesterday, he's like, he was talking about how they've reached here on merit and all. Essentially, he gave it so much importance, and then when you compare it to what he said in the Champions League midweek, कि we are tired and all. I mean, मैं तो समझ नहीं पा रहा हूँ इस बंदे को. He's giving more importance to the SuperCoppa than the Champions League. Unbelievable, यार. This guy is just insane. बढ़िया चिंतन भाई, go ahead.
Chintan, Conte is like that hot chick, who gives mixed signals. And even you are kind of like, मैं क्या करूं, मतलब मैं चांस लूं कि नहीं लूं, मतलब तू क्या कहना क्या चाहता है भाई?
For someone who's a very, I be very honest, I don't think Napoli played well also to win 2-0, to be very honest. And the second goal though was, how can you let a goal go from that side? And first goal to बोल सकते, not against run off play, but to बोल सकते that Milan were more or less upper hand. And yeah, this is what यार अजय मैं बोला तेरे को phone पे भी, that now the striker part is hurting because Pulisic is of course not keeping fit and Leao not being fit. It is kind of hurting Milan now. And you saw how Nkunku is not, वो नहीं है उधर. He's not there, the right place, right time. He cannot finish. He is positioning sense जा रहा है. He Kalek उसने एक बार बॉल किया था, Salamakers अच्छा चांस सेटअप करके दिया था. He could have laid it off for Tomori and got it back. But नहीं, I think वो नहीं बैठ रहा है. I think वो बोल रहे ना कभी कभी you get over desperate. I think he's getting very desperate to score a goal or prove a point. And the first goal hit us out of nowhere. And kudos to Højlund यार. I think Rasmus ने पूरा game कोनी डे विंटर को बुली किया है यार. ये मतलब वो थोड़ा फ्लैशबैक हो गया जब ही लुकाकू हमारे मिलान को करता था, मिलान डिफेंस को, जब इंटर में था. इसको बुली मिलान डिफेंस. एंड फिजिकली यार अजय उसने क्या परम फिजिकली आउटप्ले किया है. एंड लाइक
But Chintan, do you think Højlund should have been sent off because उसके लफड़े थे. उसके एक डाइव था जो क्लियर डाइव था, रेफ gave a dive but didn't give a yellow.
That dive should have been a yellow. It was blatant dive. Second yellow का मैं बोलूंगा नहीं because Rabiot ने भी idiot एक फालतूगिरी किया था, पीछे से लात मार दिया था. And Ajay, I'm pretty much against all these small typical fouls, but yeah, that dive, I don't know how he was not penalized for that stupid dive. I'll tell you one thing, guys. I never understand when a defender is playing in a back three and वो कितना बैकअप करता है कोनी डी विंटर. He just backs up. वो प्लेयर को टर्न करने देता है. अरे you cannot back up so much in modern game when you're playing a 3-man back line where your other two center backs are pushing up. He is backing so much. I feel सब लोग पहले गोल में माइक को गाली दिया, but I think it was both goals were full on De Winter. Terrible display. And from an Allegri point of view, to get subbed off in the 60th minute as a defender, gosh, it's terrible. We are missing Gabia. I'll tell you one thing, boys. It's very simple. Allegri ने मिलान का डिफेंस लीक हो रहा था, वो उसने स्वैप कर दिया, मतलब स्टिच कर दिया उसने. बट अभी क्या प्रॉब्लम है, डिफेंडर्स तो चेंज नहीं हुए ना भाई. डिफेंडर्स तो वही टट्टी वाले हैं.
क्वालिटी तो वही है.
क्वालिटी तो वही है. He did what he could do best, and that is what people, because Milan are doing so well in the league. अरे यार, people think that we should win a treble, like local treble. अरे भाई यार, ये top 4 ही है. My idea is still, I'll be happy with top 4. Look at the defense. Use anyone saw Connie De Winter play yesterday? मतलब वो
he was not
League 1 level है यार, not League 1.
मुझे ऐसा मत बोल यार, ऐसा मत बोल चिंतन. कोनी डे विंटर न्यूकासल जाएगा और वहां पे बॉल करने लग जाएगा यार.
नहीं यार भाई, फिर वो थिया और कोनी डे विंटर का पार्टनरशिप लोग देख के बोलेंगे वर्ल्ड क्लास पेयरिंग.
चलेगा भाई परम, as long as मेरे को पैसा मिलेगा 30-40 इसका भी दे दो.
But see, my worries I had about, because you remember De Winter was also linked with us before. Obviously you guys signed him, and this is why I personally, like, again मैं उसका पूरा spell एकदम से नहीं judge कर रहा, but I saw the game yesterday as well, and I was not chatting, I was just observing the game, and मैं देख रहा था जैसे आपने बोला easily ज़्यादा back off कर रहा था, and not like proper back off, he was backing off and just leaving unnecessary space. Exactly. And Højlund जिस तरह अभी particularly खेल रहा है ना, अगर आप Højlund का थोड़ा modified game देखो नापोली में, he is actually, his movement has improved a lot. He's attacking those half spaces. He's reading the space around him very carefully. So that is not what you do, and that is why, as Chintan bhai said, it looked like Højlund was constantly bullying or just outsmarting De Winter yesterday, and he actually did. And De Winter looked like he was not ready for this stage. Like there's a reason you can say, अरे Allegri को उसको ज़्यादा खिलाना चाहिए maybe. But maybe there is a reason of what Allegri maybe also sees in training here. De Winter is not ready, and this was my biggest doubt when peak clubs were behind him कि उसमें वो अभी तक development नहीं हुआ है, and he's a bit injury prone also, you know this. So hopefully the kid can improve, but there is a long way to go. And अगर चिंतन भाई जैसे बोले मिलान को अगर 30-40 मिलियन किधर करा सकते हैं तो maybe better to cash in eventually if you get that kind of money. But I also saw the game, Ajay. I want to get your thoughts because as Chintan Bhai said, I agree with him कि it's not like Napoli were spectacular, outplayed Milan. It was quite even in my opinion, and वो run off play ये वो जो भी था. But then Napoli again a bit more veteran experience, a bit more क्या बोलते हैं वो firepower off the bench or from the bench players. Let's say Elhif, Elmas, just coming in handy. Just generally, Vanya Milinkovic how it's showing up again. क्या बोलते हो आपको क्या लगा गेम के बारे में?
I'll quickly sum it up, boys. Just 30 seconds. I really feel कि Napoli के लिए ये बहुत important था because Conte obviously is coming off a lean patch, losses in the league, losses in Europe, Benfica against. तो ये game उनके लिए तो ज़्यादा मायने रखता था. तो he wanted to prove a point. The game was like I caught the extended highlights. I didn't see the game live, but it was kind of like leaning towards Milan. And the longer the game went on, you knew that sucker punch of a goal was coming. And credit to David Neres. I think Neres has shown a lot of resurgence in form from last season. So definitely Højlund getting that goal, uska bhi thoda ek you can see the Conte effect working on him as well. For Milan, I think it's back to the drawing room, like Chintan mentioned. I think first and foremost is that qualification back into the UCL and getting that money, that comes along with it. That is the goal. Milan ka focus us pe rahega, totally on getting a top 4 and even winning the league. I like I said, won't be surprised if Milan are there till the last day, of the title race. So I think overall, Milan did win the SuperCoppa last year. They can trade it off this year if it means getting back into the Champions League.
Yeah, I mean
last year SuperCoppa जीता और क्या team crumble हो गया. मतलब I'll rather have some continuity. SuperCoppa of course last year was just bittersweet because we beat two of our rivals with a comeback thing. But कल मुझे लगा था कि Luka Modric इतना नहीं खेल पाएगा भाई. And
and Chitan, just to add to that, because I've been wanting to say this about Modric for a while, not had the opportunity to say it. Obviously, he'll always be a fantastic player and a legend of the game, but you're seeing the age kind of come into play over the last few weeks. If I'm not at least in my observation, and it's natural. There's not a criticism. ये expected है. मतलब कितना ही बंदा carry करेगा because he's already outdone himself in my opinion in terms of the performances he started with. Sorry, go ahead. But yeah, that's just what I wanted to say. You can see that वो age factor आ रहा है. It's not a criticism, but it's just a normal part of the process or aging is basically what I wanted.
Modric was sharing the pitch alongside the GOAT yesterday, Juan Jesus.
I honestly at this point I figure कौन किसको GOAT बोलना चाहिए उस टीम में से, Juan Jesus या Di Lorenzo. Like I'm confused. Like honestly, both playing on either side. But I think Napoli again. मेरे लिए यही strange है कि how Conte has managed to spin this narrative and make the SuperCoppa for Napoli more important than the Champions League playoffs. It's just baffling to me. Like because of what he said yesterday specifically, he's like हम लोग मेरिट पे क्वालिफाई हुए, we didn't get invited to the tournament and all that. Like इतना एनर्जी उसने चैंपियंस लीग में दिखाया नहीं चिंतन भाई, वो बेंफिका के प्री गेम में या उसके पहले जो भी गेम्स थे.
मैं तो कई लोगों को बोला था जी सुपर कोपा चल रहा है, चैंपियंस लीग का मुझे बैकग्राउंड में बजा दो, शायद कॉन्टे हार जाएगा गेम.
That's a good one.
It's insane. Yeah. But yeah, let me just quickly take a few comments. A lot of people are saying a lot of things. Backing off reminds me of a wicket-keeper batsman in IPL who comes at number 11. अरे यार ये क्या गंदा जोक है यार. शी यार धोनी दे विंटर. परम भाई said that Milan wins treble. देख मैंने treble नहीं बोला, मैंने बोला लीग में obviously if you give them that much rest, but again it's not that simple. We all know Milan need another centre back and we know that Thiago Silva return links are there. We'll probably ask Chintan about that because A lot of Milan fans are excited about a potential Thiago Silva return, and honestly, he still has it in him. अभी वो लोग अजय भाई देख के बोलेंगे अरे वो साउथ अमेरिका में खेल रहा है ये वो, but he's still playing at a very good level. Like he's still playing very well. So maybe yeah, maybe Milan need another experienced centre back there as well. Supercoppa last year was just new manager bounce Chintan bhai. Do you agree with that? Because Conceição एकदम से आया था तभी.
या हो सकता है यार, हो सकता है. एंड आई थिंक everything was so down and out. I wanted Conceição at the start, but हो सकता है यार. And plus, I think it was a fit Pulisic and a fit Liao. And let's not forget, we had the GOAT, ex-Roma GOAT with us, Tammy. So जीतना तो compulsory था. Tammy था हमारा.
By the way, तूने Tammy का नाम बोला. I just found a random picture of Arjun Kapoor and Tammy Abraham. So I'm not implying anything over here.
जेमिना एआई से बना है कि सच्ची का है भाई? मतलब
नहीं, सच्ची का. When Tammy was at Chelsea.
Oh boy. Lukewarm Modric at the moment, but as an Arsenal fan, I appreciate Conte for giving importance to SuperCoppa. One game a week खेलेगा तो Thiago Silva आराम से and will do better than David. देख, Thiago Silva again, he's operating at a very good level, and I think Milan need that kind of experience. Doesn't mean he has to play week in week out like Modric. He needs to be managed, but yeah, I think sorry. I think we can wrap up the SuperCoppa because obviously 22nd को फाइनल है. आज रात 12:30 को बोलोनिया इंटर है. Yes, it is. If you have DAZN subscription, it is on DAZN या फिर थर्ड पार्टी स्ट्रीम्स as always.
अगर कोई मास्टर कार्ड के क्रेडिट कार्ड से लॉग इन कर सकता है तो भाई बता दो कैसे करना है.
अरे होता ही नहीं भाई.
Yeah. I don't know what.
want to pay, पर हम पेमेंट कर रहा है और पेमेंट ले नहीं रहे.
ये अलग ही मतलब ये आप लोग सोचो. I mean, just imagine the struggles of watching this league. आप मतलब हाँ, प्लेटफॉर्म नहीं मिल रहा था, प्लेटफॉर्म आ गया. चलो प्लेटफॉर्म आया, प्राइस सस्ता था, प्राइस सस्ते से एक्सपेंसिव हो गया, फिर पैसा डालने का ट्राई कर रहे हैं. सामने वाला जो भी प्लेटफॉर्म पैसा ले नहीं रहा है, मतलब देखने देना ही नहीं है. मतलब I don't know, like it's just insane. Like I've been fortunate enough to be able to process that payment, and even Kabir has been able to do it. But
तेरा एक महीना होने दे, एक महीने के बाद रिन्यू नहीं होता है, वही प्रॉब्लम
भाई. मेरा
दूसरा महीना है. ये मेरा दूसरा महीना है. ये मेरा दूसरा महीना है. हाँ, that's what I'm saying. It's a glitch.
तेरा कार्ड डिटेल्स दे बाद में.
It's insane how this issue is still persisting. But yeah, this is funny. Sorry, Ajay bhai. So इसका थोड़ा तो मुझे बात करना है because this has nothing to do with Serie A. I understand.
एक बात तो करते भाई, हमको बुलाया नहीं था इवेंट के लिए और कुछ नहीं, इसीलिए गए नहीं. बट मैंने तो बनाया वीडियोस. मैंने इट्स नॉट लाइक आई हैव नॉट मेड वीडियोस. एंड इस पे मैं जस्ट माय 2 cents क्विकली. आई स्टैंड विद every fan who paid money and went to watch Messi because that's what it's ये जो morality के lecture दे रहे हैं ना, इतने पैसे कौन देता है यार. they've never really been affected by football. We are all football fans. If you're a fan of Messi, if you've been a Barca fan or an Argentina fan, you would want to go. And I totally agree with the fans who spend whatever amount of money. It's on them. I stand by them. I don't stand by the people who are virtue signaling and suddenly, you know, Sunil Chhetri को इतना उसको sympathy मिल रहा था, Indian footballers को इतना sympathy मिल रहा. नहीं भाई, these are just guys who are exactly. These are guys who are hacking the trends, nothing else. They really weren't doing it from a genuine place. So that's about it, yeah.
Yeah, Chindan, any 2 cents you want to give? Did you go for it or anything?
Well, I agree. Why not, yaar? If Messi is coming here, let's assume Sachin does this tour in suppose US and it's a paid event, and I won't be surprised if people come pay to see Sachin. Like I have nothing, and I think it's a great thing that he has so many fans here, and we all are football fans, and we all appreciate Messi. And had Messi, if Messi was playing a proper game, all three of us would have paid money to watch him play. Like, just imagine if Messi was in his prime and playing football here. सब लोग जाते हैं. There's nothing wrong.
100%.
मेरे को ये narrative अच्छा नहीं लगता है कि people spend 25 crores on Messi event, Indian football needs 6 crores. It's a two different event, I think. मतलब वो काफी सारा है.
It's a
Board,
completely different dynamic. It's a different dynamic only. एक private का
yeah,
है और तुम
board is rejecting a few things. They want जैसे EPL में होता है clubs run league चाहिए, वो सब board reject कर रहा है. So it's got nothing to do with it, and I feel in a way it's a good thing that he came here. You see a lot of bands are coming in India now, so it's good exposure. And I don't know, people go like cute na spend kar rahe ho. It's okay, man. Like if Paulo
We-
comes here, I'll
Yeah,
spend
yeah.
money to watch.
That reminds me, अजय भाई, we are very privileged that अपने को रोज एक फुटबॉलर के साथ पैनल पे शेयर करने को मिलता है एक प्लेटफॉर्म. I'm talking about the Dominic Calvert-Lewin reference, obviously,
Oh
because
my
we get to
God.
sit with we get to sit with Chintan bhai for free. But all that aside, Sandesh Jingan, my goat,
ये
uploaded a good
बड़ा
post.
बड़ा तूने जेन जी जोक मारा फाइनली जाके.
करना था, एक तो करना ही था, but it was a, I know you're being sarcastic, Avijay, but that was a terrible post. Like I to jing, like you spoke about people jumping on the bandwagon, right, Ajay bhai? This is for me the players doing it, because Sandesh Jingan always, I'll say it upfront, he always जब भी कुछ गलत होता है ना तो हमेशा बोलता है we are sorry, और but जब उसको एक मौका मिल जाता है he'll talk like अरे हाँ this that, but how we know these players are no saints, and yes, the team as a whole deserves the support, but this guy is no saint. उसने उसका post अगर आप पढ़ो, and it was good to see up this that, but where does he perform, what does he do on the pitch exactly to warrant any kind of sympathy? I mean,
Rubbish, yeah.
and Chintan, where were all these players when all these years ago I League was suffering? Nobody showed any kind of support to those other players, but these guys want support out of nowhere. They want others to support them, but they never supported anyone else. They never supported the ecosystem when things were going right for them. As long as the money was flowing in their pockets, they never supported I League. Now that their income has stopped, it's very convenient, right? So it's
सुपर कप खेल लिया, सुपर कप हो गया,
सुपर कप हो गया, जीत गए, खत्म, कुछ नहीं. बढ़िया. ये अच्छा है, don't you think? I mean, yeah, AIFU is the problem, right, Chintan bhai? I mean, it's quite simple. They will always be the problem, and honestly,
And Kabir, these are fans who are not football fans. They're just, kind of cashing in on the trend, and seasonal sports
Yeah.
fans. Like, for example, there's a journalist who said that over 300 jobs are lost in Indian football. Players are still under contract, last when I checked. So they're still getting money for not
Yeah.
playing. Can you imagine? Okay, their future is at risk. But at this
Yeah.
point of time, players are getting
Yeah.
paid. And
Yeah.
I can say it. I have people who work in Indian football, employees, the clubs who have money, without taking any names, they are by bare minimum paying their employees. But there are certain clubs who are not backed by businesses or countries. Their staff has not got money. Players are getting money for not playing,
Yeah.
but the
Yes,
staff hasn't got
exactly.
their money. Okay, so
Insane.
those jobs are also affected, which is what I feel is very important as well, because a player doesn't make a club; it's everything that comes together.
Everything, exactly.
No one's really thinking about the support staff,
And
and these players, they will get a contract. Like, for example, if they're good enough, they can move abroad. All the
Exactly.
foreign players will go. A few Indian players might go abroad if the league doesn't restart. But what about the support staff? They're
and
stuck.
let me just say, as Ajay bhai said, without naming, a lot of these players have gotten Chintan by way too comfortable. You know this, with these high salaries. The staff around them, I personally don't think they appreciate all that, because the struggles the staff around them has to go through. Like when Hyderabad FC was defaulting on payments, Chintan, by 6+ months of no money to the staff. People were struggling to pay bills, medical bills, whatnot. So I don't buy this BS from the players, at least. But yeah, Ajay bhai said it right. They can always get a contract. Yeah, they'll play anywhere.
I can share this as well. One of my friends who was working as an analyst at Hyderabad FC, he's now in Japan. I don't want to say the name. I met him after the game at the Mumbai Football Arena. उसने वही बोला कि भाई पैसे नहीं मिले, I am leaving.
Exactly.
As simple as that, man. And to be honest, the guys who were backing Hyderabad FC had the money, but the club did not have the money, or the franchise did not have the money. So then he left, and now Hyderabad FC is again now gone. It's
First of
Sporting
all,
Club Delhi.
first of all, Chintan bhai, I hate the word franchise. What have we come to, man? Club, boy, club से कहाँ franchise पे आ गए? क्या है ये?
But असलियत वही है, उन लोग क्लब बोलते, but है franchise.
नो इंडिया में तो फ्रेंचाइजी हो गया है, वो तो ओपनली बोलते हैं. The club term is you have to go all the way down to I League and beyond that. Everything else is a franchise except maybe
Yeah,
Mohan Bagan, East Bengal, whatever. It's
and Bengaluru FC maybe.
yeah, Bangalore FC. But by the way, just as we get hit back to Italy, I just want to say one thing. अगर आपके पास Sony Live subscription है, ये वो again this is not a plug, but I watched the Real Kashmir documentary completely. I just finished it yesterday. It's actually well made. I liked it. It's quite a decent one. I don't know if you saw it, Ajay and Chintan bhai, but for a
I watched 2 episodes. I'm yet to finish that. I'll probably
finish.
finish it over the
So
weekend.
for a first season, again without any spoilers, not to hint anything, but it's a good. At least I liked it, having followed Indian football all these years. I think they've done a good job, and I hope they follow on or build on the seasons that are
मेरा
to
तो
come.
you have a soft spot also for Real Kashmir. If
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not
definitely. Because I started watching them from the year they were found in I League. I just don't know because अगर आपको याद है उसके 2 साल बाद Mumbai FC shut down, right?
yeah, yeah.
And the club reminded me a lot of Mumbai FC, Chintan bhai, because
Yellow.
colors being not just the colors but just that struggle of being that mid-table team, against the odds and everything. And you remember how Mumbai FC was. We used to take points against the big guns randomly.
Yeah,
We used to do our thing under Khalid Jamil. Very similar, and that's why I like them a lot. And just for India, given where Indian football is, I would say I said this on WhatsApp earlier. 2 things you can watch right now to kind of just comfort yourself is this Real Kashmir documentary and the Travelers Guide to Indian Football by Sportfolio, because they're doing a great job. It's on YouTube. They've dropped 3 episodes. I think Ajay bhai, right? 3, if I'm
The
not wrong.
fourth episode is out today. The Kashmir episode is out today.
Oh wow, okay. So yeah, you can watch that. That too is free. So definitely you guys can. Sorry, I could not avoid this. I could not avoid this. उसको छोड़ के सब येलो ठीक है भाई, और कुछ नहीं है, और कुछ नहीं. But let's head back to हाँ.
Kievo Verona के colors भी yellow blue है, so you know.
But यानी
just
like
one
हाँ बोलो.
just one comment before we close. ये Dybala Nepal. I hope Dybala also comes to Roma in that trip to Nepal. And
Yeah.
Hellas Verona का Hellas Verona Boca Juniors का यार links are too early to confirm at this point of time. Dropping hints. Abhijay, I am a time traveler. You know it. So with that we can move ahead.
He might have jinxed Arsenal's title chances too. So Aryan is also a nice player. But let's head back to Italy, guys. Let's head back to Italy. Let's talk about the league. Because चिंतन मैं आपसे चालू करता हूँ. चलो सुपर कोपा से आप लोग अभी हो गए बाहर. It is what it is. League पे वापस आते हैं. Obviously, last weekend was not like obviously you played your bogey team. I mean our bogey team, not just your bogey team. And obviously game में फिर से refereeing ये last weekend I just want to say there were refereeing errors in every game. I want to point this out. I followed it to the best extent possible. There were refereeing error. There were calls against obviously AC Milan. Inter against the penalty denied every game. Napoli, Udinese's goal ruled out against Napoli, but still Udinese won. Yeah, it was insane. But Chintan bhai, with that into account and just about the game, your 2 cents, because yeah, again Sassuolo showed up and you guys again 2-2 draw. Your thoughts?
Nothing, man. I think just 2-1 के बाद क्या हुआ? Pulisic wrong sub. I think it's on Allegri. Let's keep it as simple as possible. Bogey team था. He didn't need to remove Pulisic that early. उसने Pulisic को निकाल के he said that we wanted a midfielder. He got it. Team का tempo थोड़ा slow हो गया. They hit back, and as you know, they played with that. ऐसा मेरे को लगा for after a long time that a team which was playing against Milan this season. और मुझे लगा we might lose, forget winning.
Yeah.
मुझे लगा हार जाएंगे. So as you said यार कुछ बोलना नहीं था. बोगी टीम था. I'll just tell you one very amazing fact. Bologna, Juventus, Roma, Inter, Atlanta and Napoli. Milan has conceded 1 goal. Pisa, Cremonese, Sassuolo, Torino conceded 8 goals. 4 goals, 5 goals each.
वो लोग को वो टीम्स को घंटा फर्क पड़ता है. कॉर्तो मूसो क्या है भाई, वो लोग जाके बस खेलना है, कुछ नहीं भाई. But sorry, go ahead. It's just because I also
it's just funny yaar Ajay. It's just funny and not just this. I think over the period of time Pioli के टाइम से भी मिलान बड़ी टीम के सामने अच्छी करती है. But I always say if you want to win the league, you've got to beat the Pizzas and the Cremonese.
Yeah, exactly. Because those are the perceived routine points ना चिंतन भाई. बिग गेम आपके होते हैं अगेन 4-5 उसमें भी अगर वो 2-3 बड़े टीम आउट ऑफ फॉर्म हुए, राइट, then it's like you're eliminating those other, points potentially dropped. Your routine wins have to come, right? Like, again,
Yeah,
contrary to what you just said before we come to AC Milan, I'm irritated that we've not won a single big game this season, including the Champions League, right? Uh,
yeah,
and but who, like, somehow we are on top of the table because we've picked up our routine wins. I was telling Ajay, what did I predict for Genoa Inter last week, and you were there. I predicted a draw or a loss for Inter because we hadn't beaten Genoa in 4 years, but we put in a comfortable display and we won. One thing that is happening under Kivu is that we are winning the smaller games, whatever, against mid-table teams or bottom-table teams regularly. So it's a perspective. It's a different thing because you still need to win your big games. But yeah,
for example, I'll give you one example. Like Roma must have
yeah,
lost teams like against Milan and Inter, and both
yeah,
the games. अगर मैंने देखा तो क्या chances हगे रोमा ने, मतलब वो सब गेम में
yeah,
तो ऐसा लगा like
yeah,
against Milan,
yeah.
I have no Dybala might have scored that goal in the corner probably 9 out of 10 times, and उसने cut back नहीं किया on his left foot. I was very surprised he took that. Brian Cristante को chance मिला, वो easiest chance. So even against Inter, तो I don't know how many times Roma were knocking in the second half. So कई बार ऐसा होता है, that these frustrations, and look, all the three teams are fighting for the title right now. So
Yeah.
जैसे अभी अभिजय ने बोला बैलेंस आउट हो रहा है, इंटर नॉट पिकिंग अप पॉइंट्स अगेंस्ट बिग टीम्स, मिलान पिकिंग अप पॉइंट्स अगेंस्ट बिग टीम्स, एंड रोमा लाइक इंटर आर डूइंग वेल अगेंस्ट स्मॉलर टीम्स, बिकॉज shoving everyone aside. That is why I feel, and to segue right into the league, is can't get bigger for Roma this weekend. It can't get bigger for Roma than is giving that statement, because ये
Yeah.
अगर जीत गए, it has to be the biggest statement Gasparini will make, that okay, we are here in it, in the race. Just like Milan, I didn't expect Roma to be up there, like, to be very honest, but they are there, and
Yeah.
it can't get bigger.
Yeah.
क्या बोल रहा है अजय?
The elephant on the tree.
Fair, fair. We'll come to this discussion in depth because हम लोग यूए रोमा का proper preview करने वाले हैं. Just a couple more comments before I start taking predictions match day का. Yeah, Cremonese were robbed up in RS. So again, another game जब
By
Torino
the way,
हाँ,
even Roma Como Param to देखा
Yeah.
रहेगा that
Yeah.
counter which Divine Wrench had a goal line clearance from
Yeah.
the corner. It was a clear foul on Endika, like it was a stamp on his foot, and वहां
Yeah,
से Como countered, and then
Yeah.
they could have scored had it not
Yeah.
been for divine intervention.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I was saying. Like, ये अपने obviously ये general thing है कि लोग conspiracy theories में delve करते हैं. It's a fan tendency to do. All of us are guilty of it. But genuinely, in a while, I saw terrible refereeing in all games. Chintan bhai and Ajay bhai, in the Serie A. Like in all games is rare. Like I know हर week ना एक episode होता है जो से spotlight ले लेता है. But ये weekend में जैसे RS ने बोला, I was watching Torino Cremonese were robbed a penalty. They could have drawn the game at least. We had it against Genoa, like Petar Sucic being fouled, like not just everywhere, like every game, and it was just Juventus ka game. Let me talk about it. Lukumi, you guys saw, right, what he did? It was a red card. He just slammed this guy. Like that was a clear red card, right? You can't do that, right? So just horrible officiating, and I don't know what the solution is anymore because क्या ही बोल सकते हो? It's costing teams points, everyone points every weekend, and it's just terrible to watch. But yeah, and Samunli also says that very bad feeling this weekend, first draw of the season. Let's see. Milan बड़ी टीम के सामने does well. Inter does f all against those, perfectly balanced. Actually, Ajay bhai and Chintan bhai, I want to get your thoughts on one issue which Abhijay has asked before we proceed, because this is a good point of discussion. Thoughts on what Fabregas did with Asan Diao and the whole Senegal thing, because I think he's overstepped here for sure, at least in my opinion. आप लोग क्या बोलते हो?
यार बहुत ही yeah, I think he was not fit anyways. I think he pushed
Yeah.
him थोड़ा ज़्यादा
Yeah.
push कर लिया था. But
Yeah.
again, I would say that as a player, as a manager, to be very honest, you don't give a flying F about the international play. मेरे को अभी भी याद है सर एलेक्स फर्ग्यूसन एंड आर्सन वेंगर कितना रोते थे when players used to leave for international duty, even for qualifiers or something as big. So yeah, I don't think he should have played only in the context of his injury. He was just coming back. Be it international tournament or no, I think थोड़ा rush कर दिया उसको. But इतना justification दे रहा है तो I don't know यार, it's very मेरे को तो I have no opinion as of now about it. अजय तेरे को क्या लग रहा है?
आई यार देख आज के टाइम में ना एक एक तो ये एफकॉन का भी इशू है. इट इज हेल्ड इन दिस गॉड ऑफुल पीरियड ऑफ टाइम. एंड ये हम लोग ने लाइक आई हैव डन अ प्रीव्यू विद अपना why am I not getting the name? No, not with Baba, with Shivam. It is dropping on Sunday. वहाँ पे we did speak about it and we're like, AFCON deserves its fair share. Should be held in that summer break where when all international tournaments are held. ये तो होता ही, and this is not the first time it has happened. Like so many other teams, other leagues में previous editions में हुआ है कि player is unfit, उसको लेके आते, gets injured. AFCON and league वाला जो clashes है होते रहता है. Jurgen Klopp very famously he was so pissed off at
No,
AFCON
no.
because obviously they are. I mean it went into a borderline racism wala angle also into
Yeah,
that,
but
but
his comments are downright horrible. I'll
it
be
was
honest.
horrible. It was horrible. But my point is वही कि ये तो होता ही है यार. It is very bad. And Diao also against Roma did look sharp, and he in that Wesley goal also in the move he only injured himself. Not
Yeah,
even it wasn't a collision. He kind of
yeah.
like got stuck in the ground and fell down.
But see, this is where I'll tell you why I have an issue with what Fabregas did, right? Because उसने मैच के बाद क्या बोला? I knew that maybe we shouldn't have played him because he
Yeah,
was
we should
not
have
fully
played him.
fit. That is his error as a coach because तुम्हें अगर पता है एफकॉन के लिए कौन अगेन आई अग्री विद चिंतन भाई कि he has to look out for his own benefit. I understand. He has to look out for Como, not for Senegal. But कैसा होता है जैसे इधर जेम्स हॉर्नकासल भी बोल रहा है, right? There is a two-way communication between the FA and the club in these stages, which means he ignored certain instructions. If he's saying stuff like if he's saying to the Senegalese FA कि तुम्हारे कोच के पास कॉमन सेंस नहीं है ये वो है, then तो he's clearly crossed the line. And I don't
Yeah,
think
he
James
is.
Horncastle, yeah, I mean, I don't think James Horncastle is going to falsely report all this. So for me, I don't know what came over this guy, Chintan Bhai. I think we all know how good a coach he is, how good a man manager he is. But for me, at least, again, open to we can agree to disagree or whatever. For me, he has just I don't know what he did here. क्या हो गया इसको उसके अंदर भूत आ गया कि उसने एकदम से ही कुछ अलग लेवल से ओवरस्टेप कर दिया. Yeah, just my 2 cents. But yeah, Chintan bhai, you were saying something. Sorry.
Yeah, I that's the only thing I feel like वो बाद में आके to give these statements just sounds a
Yeah,
little guilty that
yeah.
he was not fit, I shouldn't have started him. वो बोलने की जरूरत नहीं थी. And then I don't know. Yeah, you're right. He should, but I just generally feel he shouldn't have said all these things because that just smells
Yeah.
dirty.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
वही
And
Yeah.
inexperienced and also very like wrong on his part as well.
Because
Exactly,
I
exactly.
remember
आप
over
लोग
the years, यार 20-25 साल से हम लोग ये सुन रहे हैं. I still remember every time Wenger and Sir Alex
Yeah.
used to always cry. Fair enough. Why? Because they have to look after their clubs and
absolutely.
and they used to always recall players. And I still remember Sir Alex and Wenger used to personally get involved with calls from international managers. भाई इसको मत खिलाना, Fabregas injured है, Rooney थोड़ा injured है. So I don't blame them, but yeah, they used to handle it, tackle it very nicely. He probably is young, says Fabregas, but it just felt either two things for me. थोड़ा guilty लगा. Secondly, थोड़ा ego मेरे को लग रहा था उसका that
Yes,
मेरे को क्यों बता रहे हो. So I feel that is the reason why he came out with the statement.
Yeah. ठीक है. I mean, yeah, fair points. Again, if you guys want to say anything in the comments about it, please give your thoughts because it's a very interesting discussion topic. You got our perspectives on it. Let's head back to the Serie A. Lazio Cremonese lads, again as usual. Before I ask the panel, आप लोग टीम के नाम दे के प्लीज प्रेडिक्ट करो. अजय भाई आपसे स्टार्ट करता हूँ बिकॉज आपकी टीम आ जाती है इसमें. जेमी वार्डी अगेंस्ट लाजियो. Are you manifesting a hat trick or what are you manifesting?
I hate to say this, but I think Lazio are doing really well under Maurizio Sarri with whatever resources that he's got. Bare minimum resources. आप form देख रहे हो उनका. वो Milan का win against Milan was in the cup. They lost in the league, but otherwise, impressive against Bologna. Impressive against when they were down to 9 men last weekend as well. They picked up that win as well. So. Credit where it's due to Sarri, like with this wafer thin squad, उसने एक competitive team बना के रखा हुआ है. They're still picking up those points. Unfortunately, thoda Param, if you can just show Cremonese ka form, it's been
Yeah,
awful. It's
yeah,
been pretty
yeah.
awful, barring that Bologna wala jo surprise win hai. I
हाँ,
think it has been pretty awful. They lost against Torino, against Lecce. So obviously they were expected to win. Lost against Pisa. So for them, I think they जो उनका एक सुपर स्टार्ट था अभी थोड़ा उन लोग औकात में आ गए अभी. So I feel that Cremonese will be kind of trying to upset the apple cart. I think I'll go for a draw in this one, or a Lazio win, because considering Lazio are at home, I think Sari, and the way that Sari has been uh, playing, I
Hmm.
mean getting the boys to play, I think they can pick up all 3 points. I don't see Lazio losing at home to Cremonese, unfortunately.
Fair, fair. But again, Chintan, as I get your prediction, Dele Bashir was anyways out of the squad. Chalo, Bulai Dia has gone to the AFCON. You look at the injury list is quite big, but even apart from that, Zakani is suspended, Basic is suspended. जो Basic एकदम फॉर्म में था टॉमा, because अजय भाई ने जैसे बोला राइट चंदन भाई, they beat Parma with 9 men. एक तो
9 men.
I don't understand yeah Carlos Cuesta how he's managed to lose to a team with 9 men, like that's just beyond me. एक वो. Also apart from that, as I saw this, I just wanted to click and see they might
Oh,
miss Romagnoli with
oh,
flu
this I
and
did not see.
yeah, so then that becomes more tricky, Chintan bhai. Any your prediction, is it the same as Ajay bhai, or do you think it'll be more tricky given that if someone like a Romagnoli also misses out over here?
Yeah, I think Romagnoli missing would be a huge loss for them. यार
Yeah,
अच्छा
yeah.
खेल रहा है पीछे, and I think उसने जैसे अजय ने बोला, सारी somehow managed to
Hmm.
give them that confidence to play well.
Yeah.
Guendouzi थोड़ा शांत हो गया है, so yeah, but I don't see Lazio losing, at least with Romagnoli or without. I don't think they will lose, and probably if Romagnoli misses, I'll go for a draw. But if he's playing, then I think he'll 2-1 victory. I just hope Jimmy Vardy scores.
सेम. मेरे को मतलब मजा आ रहा है उसका जो भी कर रहा है वो देखने में, बट या आई एग्री. आई थिंक अजय भाई, आई थिंक I can foresee a Lazio win, but मुझे लग रहा है tricky होगा, like either a draw or like a 2-1 Lazio or something. Again, I want to see it in the comments with the team names, guys. जो भी कर सकता है करे. RS बोल रहा है Cremonese goes to 9 men and scores goal against Lazio 1-0 Cremonese. Funny enough, funny enough. Next, obviously अजय भाई इस पे थोड़ा हमें बात करना है because it's a big game for you. It's a big game in the Serie A. Juventus versus Roma. We do not have a UA fan today. I think Vijay bhai is busy. But
एक
Chintan bhai, I'll get you to
एक
represent
काम
your
करते ना,
team.
परम परम
हाँ,
हम लोग बाकी
हाँ,
सब प्रेडिक्शन लेके इसके बाद में आते हैं.
Yeah,
चालू कर दिया
Europa
अपन
will
थोड़ा
come
definitely,
to
अगर.
the end.
definitely done. We'll go to Cagliari versus Pisa. Again, Cagliari versus Pisa से start कर रहे हैं हम. Again, यार, very actually this is like that underrated kind of lower table game. चिंतन में मैं आपसे start करता हूँ, because again we've spoken about how gritty this Cagliari team is. Then Pisa also, we know they fall short just towards the end. But yeah, this should be that good relegation fight. You again don't have Zito Luvumbu for Cagliari. You don't have Akin San Miro, who's been the most informed player for Pisa. क्या बोलते हो, ये क्या लग रहा है? मेरे को लग रहा है chaotic draw होगा, like a 2-2, 1-1 types.
Yeah, I just hope like it's a high scoring game. I just hope
Yeah.
it's going to be that typical. यार वो सब boring draw नहीं चाहिए. But yeah, Cagliari
हाँ.
is tough to break यार at home especially. So मेरे को लग रहा है Cagliari might just nick this. मेरे को पता नहीं अभी ऐसा हो गया ना, मेरे को Cagliari होता है ना तो मेरे को निकोला की Cagliari याद आती है. मतलब it was that good. He left a longing impression with this Cagliari team. Hard fought. उसका team difficult to beat था.
Exactly. Chindan bhai, we used to watch Pisa Kane play in those days, like as that underrated kind of Serie A veteran, right? अभी
Yeah,
इधर आके coach बन गया है.
coach
I
बन
mean,
गया है.
yeah, it's just crazy. But yeah, I agree with you. Like Cagliari में वो Davide Nicola पहले आता है दिमाग में. Then it's like then you see them as that gritty team. अजय भाई, आप क्या बोलोगे पर?
I don't like Cagliari. I do not like I
हारने
do
के
not
बाद
like
Cagliari.
Olorunchu. I used to never like Daniele Conti. I think the only mistake that Bruno Conti did was, produce an offspring. Always used to come and score against Roma and celebrate like crazy. Daniele Conti back in the day, चिंतन तेरे को याद रहेगा, वो
Yeah,
आता ही
yeah.
था हमेशा गोल मारने के लिए. एक बार तो डेरोसी ने उसके गोटे में मार दिया था, and everyone was like, finally he needs to stop, breeding so that another Conti
Pronunciation.
doesn't come and score against Roma. But all jokes aside, they are a good, like, they're very difficult to beat at home.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
credit to Pizzigane in terms of how he set up. Palestra के बारे में हम लोग बात कर चुके हैं. One of the most exciting
Palestra.
wing
Yeah,
backs. In fact, it's ironic that he's on loan from Atalanta, and
Atalanta.
Atlanta could have made do with Palestra at this
My
point of time.
God,
But
exactly. And honestly, he's, with all due respect, he's better than Bellanova. Like he's doing better than Bellanova.
Of course, of
100%,
course.
100%. And ये तेरा एस्पोजितो क्या बड़ा भाई है छोटा के तीन भाई है ना लोग.
तीन
Who's
है
this
भाई.
Esposito?
ये
This
कौन सा
ये
वाला
कौन सा है?
Sebastiano, he's doing, but this is the guy I have issues with, and the Inter fans tend to kind of say, why did we sell him for Angion Bonni? And I just now go back and remind all those Inter fans, you look at where Angion Bonni is and where you look at where Esposito is. This Esposito, he's the oldest. No, he's the
The
second
oldest.
oldest of all. Second
अच्छा,
oldest,
second
second
one.
oldest.
So he in the
and,
middle.
Oldest,
But
and Pio?
Pio is the youngest. Oldest is
Pio is-
Salvatore, underrated midfielder, plays for Spezia.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you ask me, he should have been playing in Serie A. I have no idea why he's not moved to the Serie A, but he's actually a good player. If I had to rank all the three potential wise, obviously मैं Pio Esposito बोलूंगा, but maybe even quality wise, but Salvatore and Pio are way better than Sebastiano Esposito basically. But again, funnily
Right.
enough, he's having a good season because Pizzakane is the coach. That's all.
Yeah, and he's been linking up well with Borelli, so that's
Yes.
a combination. That's a combination worth watching out for. But I'll go for a Cagliari win. I think they'll win 2-1.
Yeah. RS also says a 2-1 Cagliari win. Again, अभिजय तो इतना chat कर रहे हैं तो predictions भी दे ही दे भाई. मतलब ये क्या है? Sassuolo Torino, which only means one thing, Chintan bhai, Torino is winning.
I was just going to say, bloody Torino is going to smash Sassuolo. Like मेरे को वही लग रहा है कि साला यार क्या यार shit, I don't want to talk about this team. एक तो इतना गंदा ग्रीन जर्सी लेके आए यार, ये मतलब उनका बहुत ही आंख में आ रहा है यार.
हाँ, वो थर्ड किट आपके अगेंस्ट ही पहना ना वो लोग ने और उससे ही ड्रॉप.
क्या गंदा किट है यार, like seriously यार.
उसके साथ ही मतलब पॉइंट्स लेके चले गए भाई. मतलब क्या ही है.
मेरे
मतलब
को
that was
Fabio
like,
Grosso, for different reasons, I like Fabio Grosso. Of course, 2006
Yeah.
memories are etched in our minds, Ajay. But साला
Yes,
बहुत
of
गुस्सा
course.
है वो देखने को.
नहीं, बट इट्स जस्ट आयरॉनिक. चिंतन में अभी आप बैठ के सोच रहे हो कि वो गंदा जर्सी पहना, वही पहन के पॉइंट्स निकाल लिए. दैट हैज टू बी लाइक अल्टीमेट ट्रोलिंग फॉर व्हाटएवर रीजन. बट या, योर प्रेडिक्शंस, लाइक व्हाट डू यू थिंक? बिकॉज़ अगेन, हाँ, बोलो.
I genuinely think Torino can win this, with अपना. By the way, just to tell you, ये दोनों टीम ने दोनों टीम ने torment किया. Like Zapata was very good against Milan. He
Yeah.
always plays well against us. And I like it. I like Zapata. He's a good, strong player. Injuries, of course, ruined his career. Very good
Exactly.
player, yeah. I think he's.
Yeah.
And Shea Adams is, of course, amazing, यार. वो तो goated player.
तेरा
यार.
गोट है. तेरा गोट है.
अरे हाँ यार,
Yeah,
क्या
yeah.
यार. But so I'll go for a draw here because I think I'm impressed with Vlasic. बहुत ही
Yeah.
rapidly turn up कर दिया ये season. He's been very positive.
Yeah.
He's bringing that attacking flair वो ला रहा है. एक time था, I think he was linked with all the big clubs in Serie A. And either I think he went to West Ham. किधर गया था Serie A?
West Ham.
Right, I think he made a move that I think made a big mistake. Should have come to one of the big clubs in Italy. Quality player है. Is he a captain now? Is
Not
he
the captain, but he's seen as a leader in the team.
Okay.
He's
And
seen-
by the way,
yeah.
people low-key forget that Nemanja Matic is playing for Sassuolo.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
काफी भूल जाती है. But
हाँ.
वो क्या है यार, उनका मुहेर मोविच, I like that defender Sassuolo.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
has a good
former
future.
Juve. Yep, definitely.
He's
And he had a good.
सब former UA क्या यार?
सब former UA.
ये Holsing, ये guy, then De Winter,
Yeah.
मतलब वो लोग करते क्या है? ये जाते हैं and they buy bloody 40 for them playing a 63 million midfielder playing in the defense.
Yeah.
Jeep.
It's just, I think UA fans will have a lot to say about that as well. But
I'll
just
go for a
quickly-
draw here.
Fair.
1-1
fair.
draw.
1-1 draw. Ajay
I'm
bhai?
going for a Sassuolo win. I think they'll carry
Fair.
that momentum.
Yeah.
And my boy Christian Volpato hopefully should get on the score sheet.
Yeah, fair. Yeah. I think Sassuolo will win. Like, if I to just pick two players again, as I like to usually do, Ismail Kone, Chintan, I think you saw it against AC
Yeah.
Milan as well. वो डेजर्बी ने उसको जब से निकाला मार्से से भाई, मतलब वो he's a man possessed trying to prove a point. Matic also is he's solid. Matic has added Chintan by that element to Sassuolo, which we are not used to seeing. A solid Sassuolo. Like I know they
Yeah, yeah.
conceded, but वो आता एक sense किया this is a very different Sassuolo. And from the Torino side of things, Chintan by said it. I would keep an eye on Nikola Vlasic. Zapata, he's a fantastic player. Yeah, right? Like in his prime, I think all of us would have wished he would have played for at least for a season or two for one of our clubs in the recent era.
100%. 100%.
100%.
Definitely, like yeah, exactly. And Saul Coco is a big miss through Afcon, so yeah, that's a big miss. But yeah, I also think Torino will win this. RS has said 2-0 Torino. Yeah, I think Abhijay has also said 3-1 Torino. Aslani brace. ये तो मैं लिख रहा हूँ उड़ीने से विन चलो मेरे को मतलब कुछ बोलना ही नहीं है इस पे मतलब आई डोंट थिंक फ्योरेंटीना हैव इट इन देम लाइक आई एम सॉरी गाइस अजय भाई मैं आपसे स्टार्ट करता हूँ दिस हैज बीन अ डिजास्टर दिस डिजास्टर
It,
मतलब
it has
क्या
been.
बोलूं
It has been.
दे लॉस्ट टू लॉज़ान उसके पहले हेल्लास से आपने देखा and it sums up their luck if you saw what happened to them against Hellas right I don't know if you saw the वो जापान स्पेन गेम में जो हुआ था right चिंतन भाई uh, the ball just being over the
Yeah.
line when it went out that's what happened to Fiorentina against Hellas I'm trying to find an image of it and it just sums up everything
Don't
like all the
don't play any video, otherwise
it's not a
थोड़ा
video. It's not a
copyright
video.
रहेगा.
It's not a video. It's an image. It's an image. But anyways, I'll try to find it. But just 2 cents on Fiorentina because RS wanted us to talk about Fiorentina again. क्या बोलते हो चिंतन भाई? Because यार मतलब I have nothing left to say at this rate.
Boss, I thought last week would be the week where they turn it around and कैसे हार गए यार मतलब I am also I think this someone just asked God Ubi what went wrong with Fiorentina. No, I don't think anyone can point a finger. Team, yes, they have a decent team. Manager change kar liya. This team cannot be last. Like this team cannot be in the last five. They have a good team. They have Italy's best striker. Moise Keane खेल रहा है. I don't know like what is wrong. I can't point a finger. And it's not that Param are playing bad. I don't even think they're playing badly. Like some games they are actually playing better also. But it's just not clicking for them. I don't know. They just need that one win, guys. Ek win will turn it around for them, but I hope it
Mm,
comes sooner or later.
fair Ajay भाई, आपके 2 cents because we've discussed already but still just let me like as I said वो जापान स्पेन वाला जो इंसिडेंट था I'm unable to get an image right now next but apart from that, just see this, right? If for those who missed the game, look when Hellas scored their winning goal, 93rd minute अजय भाई, 93rd. वो भी Fiorentina का जो गोल था वो Unai Nunez own goal था. That's how bad things are for Fiorentina right now. Your 2 cents.
I think it's a sinking ship, Param. I think it's done for them.
Yeah.
बहुत ही मुश्किल होने वाला है. And मेरे हिसाब से तो see mathematically तो obviously it is possible, but the way that it is heading, like it's disaster that's incoming. And अभी January transfer window आने वाला है. और एक पुरानी कहावत है जब लोग बोलते हैं कि सबसे पहले चूहे भाग जाते हैं from a sinking
हाँ
ship. Already Inter are interested in Dodo.
नहीं
Moise
चाहिए
Kean could be
मेरे को डोडो उधर ही रहने दो
Moisa
बढ़िया
Moisa Kane could be on the move.
yeah
Goodmanson could be on the move. So there are already, matlab, leaks coming out that the players want out. Who do
yeah
Fiorentina bring in, in January? And what is Vanoli's fault really in this? Having said all
they're
of that,
talking about
Param,
Ajay bhai, you're talking about players leaving. They're looking at sacking one only if he does not win in the next 2 games. What is this?
yeah,
अभी तो आया
yeah, yeah.
चिंतन भाई वो उसको क्या मतलब 2 गेम में और तुम निकाल दोगे
Yeah, it is way. So everything is it stinks over there at Florence. Unfortunately, we have spoken about this. ये पहले भी हुआ है when they had a better team, like they had Batigol, they had so many other players, and they got relegated to Serie B in '94. उस समय तो Serie A बहुत competitive था. 18 टीम ही
competitive
थे उस टाइम पे. 18
yeah
टीम ही थे तो so it was very competitive. So history could repeat itself. You never know. No team from this position has survived the drop. So unless Fiorentina can get like a 7 to 8 match winning streak, this is not going to end well for them.
yeah predictions चिंतन में on this sorry I didn't take your prediction earlier
यार पता नहीं मैं क्यों होपफुल रहता हूँ यार but I'll go for a 1-1. Yeah, I want Fiorentina to win this very badly. So I'll go for a 1-1. But नहीं लग रहा है यार. Udinese did well against Napoli,
Yeah,
so it's hard to see them lose this game. But I'll be
Yeah,
yeah,
biased at 1-1.
yeah.
Udinese, Chintan, Udinese
What?
should have won by more goals against Napoli. To be
Yeah,
very
yeah,
Yeah,
honest,
absolutely,
that
absolutely.
goal
वो
should
एक
have
गोल
been
तो,
sent off also.
या एक
yeah,
तो लोबोटका पे तो कभी फाउल था ही नहीं, वो तो
नहीं
मतलब
था,
वो तो
नहीं था.
एग्जैक्टली. बट अजय भाई, योर प्रेडिक्शन ऑन दिस, बिकॉज या आई मीन
I'm going to go for a Udinese win, man, on this. Like, I
fair,
think
fair.
Udinese will beat them.
Udinese has been a very yo-yo team this season, मतलब randomly losing against smaller teams and bigger teams. It's been a very mixed bag, but I don't know यार,
Udinese
चेतन.
ने Sassuolo
हाँ बोलो.
उसे इंटर को हरा दिया, नापोली को हरा दिया, मतलब अच्छी टीम
Exactly.
है यार.
Yeah, I mean they have, but they've also lost such strange games that Chintan, at times you don't know what. And I rate their coach, like for mid-table level coach. I rate Costa Runiaic. I've been praising him every time I get the chance. It's just that again, and Zaniolo. By the way, sorry, I know Zaniolo is not the most liked guy, and even I'm not a big fan, but he is playing very well.
He's doing
Kudos to
very
the
well.
guy.
Doing very
Yeah,
well.
he's playing very well, and I feel he can warrant a call up if he keeps this form up. Like I don't want to get carried away or anything, but अगर ऐसा ही फॉर्म चलता रहा तो गटूसो ने भी एक्नॉलेज किया है. एंड ऑनेस्टली अगर मैं एक प्लेयर अगर फिर से बोलूं किसको हाईलाइट करूं, मतलब फ्योरेंटीना से किसी को मैं हाईलाइट कर भी नहीं सकता, मतलब बुरे परफॉर्मेंसेस. एंड सॉरी, वन थिंग आई वांट टू से, डेविड डेया, द रिग्रेशन इज बैक.
Yeah,
It looks like it's back, Chintan bhai. Like we are seeing the David Dea that had regressed. He's pretty much back. Zaniolo is the one to keep an eye on in terms of good form, and I think Fiorentina's misery will continue here. I just don't see anything good for them, and I think they'll get. My prediction is they get relegated, just like Ajay. I think they'll get relegated. And अगर आप सोशल मीडिया पे देखो, Juventus fans are having fun because obviously वो एक rivalry है चिंतन भाई, UA Fiorentina. So yeah, Zaniolo own goal, Fiorentina win. RSS Fiorentina win. Um, what went wrong for Fiorentina? And Ajay bhai, I think we had discussed this कि हम लोग एक वीडियो बनाने वाले हैं इस पे. Hopefully we get the time to do that soon, because it's a whole. The what exactly happened is something you need to find out in a video and not on a live stream. But Chintan, by coming to you, De Rossi versus Palladino. This is actually an exciting matchup because De
Very good
Rossi,
match.
yeah, exactly. De Rossi अच्छा खिलवा रहा है Genoa को. With this, he's trying to squeeze out whatever he can from this bunch of players. And you have a Palladino who's flying again. Like he's got them playing well. Yeah, क्या बोलते हो चिंतन भाई? This is an exciting game.
Oh yeah. But good यार. Even I'm liking this Atlanta also. थोड़ा resurgence उनका जो mini resurgence बोल सकते हैं. But yeah, even against Genoa, against Inter were very clinical. But Genoa weren't, like, it's not that Inter ran ragged. So I'm very happy. De Rossi needs time. I've always been biased towards Genoa compared to Samp, and I liked Gilardino before, so they're doing well. मेरे को पता नहीं, but I don't see Atlanta losing this also, I think. But Genoa are difficult to beat at home यार, बहुत difficult call है. Atlanta यार अच्छा करती है against big team, फालतू टीम के सामने हार जाती है. ये समझ में नहीं आ रहा है Atlanta का भी this season. यार very hard to call यार अजय. ये at home Genoa don't lose that often.
they don't. They don't.
Uh,
Like, Inter was the first loss in a while
Yeah,
after De Rossi took over.
yeah, and like we, as if for the most part, we looked comfortable. Once we conceded that random goal, I saw that energy from Genoa. So, जैसे चिंतन भाई ने बोला, Genoa have that capability to cause problems, and De Rossi, he asks them to play on the front foot regardless. चाहे तुम्हारे पास वो quality है या ना हो, तुम्हें करना है वो. So that adds that थोड़ा extra edge, basically, चिंतन भाई, to them.
yeah,
But क्या
How
I
prediction?
don't know.
how good has been the resurgence of Lorenzo Colombo, man? I'm loving it.
अरे
अरे यार
मेरे को पता था अजय भाई को चांस मिलेगा, he will praise Colombo,
तू
he
ये
will
बोल
praise.
रहा है और तेरा ये चालू रहता है और अभिजय का और नॉर्टन कफी का चालू रह जाए. तुम लोग का एजेंडा यही चालू रहता है यार.
But at least not. ठीक है, fair. But क्या predictions, guys? क्या predictions?
I'll go for 2-2.
Ooh.
Fair. That's actually something I can see. I'm actually, yeah. I think 2-1 draw types होगा. अजय भाई, आप क्या बोलते हो?
Uh, Atlanta win. I think in they're in form. They're in form, and I think with all the bias and love I have for De Rossi, this Genoa team and the way that De Rossi sets up allows the opposition to get in. And I think Atlanta with Scamacca and Dicketer, especially Scamacca, good to see for the national team. At least he's getting that form back. I think they'll win. Maybe it'll be a high scoring game, but I think Atlanta will get all 3 points.
Fair. Good times for Atalanta as per Ajay bhai. Yeah, where does that leave us? I think yeah, that's pretty much for this weekend. Just to remind you guys, obviously AC Milan, Napoli, Inter and Bologna के games नहीं है because Super Copa में है, so Super Copa के games है. Because UA Roma preview कर, I think sorry we took Bologna Inter, I completely forgot. Juventus Roma पे ही आता है directly. अजय भाई आप पे तो आता हूँ, but I'll get Chintan भाई to talk about Juventus. Chintan भाई, let's start with you. अच्छा रन रहा है. I mean, Spalletti. I think we know that Juventus are figuring themselves out. I think that's like the perfect way to describe Juventus figuring ourselves out or whatever. But मतलब still they're bagging things. मतलब आ रहे result. Like the Bologna win was big. You know, Juventus generally have a good record against Bologna. They beat an kind of informed Pafos. Udinese को हराया. Cagliari, Napoli was where they did not play well, but generally it's not great, but it's like they're trying to make something happen. Spalletti finally 4-2-3-1 पे आ गया है, which is maybe at times 3 at the back, but that you know, some level of confidence is evident. Some level, I'm not saying it's great, but वो थोड़ी chemistry build हो रही है. क्या बोलते हो? क्या मतलब यूवेंटस के बारे में first of all, what do you think? What do you think?
Yeah,
You know,
I feel see that's what they need right now. They need some stability, यार, because बहुत yo-yo club हो गया था last 2 साल में with Thiago Motta and his buys and बहुत ही they need some stability and I need एक 1.5 साल ऐसा हो गया था जिसने हमने we were not sure which Juventus lineup आने वाला है. So right now थोड़ा consistent lineup हो गया है. I like Conceição and Yildiz. मेरे को दोनों players अच्छे लगते हैं. Conceição is little, he's tiny and he's difficult to stop, and Yildiz is Yildiz after all, So I like how they're settling in. Again, यार Juventus का है यार, they turn up like Bologna के सामने they turned up. They do turn up well. Thuram and Locatelli so pivotal for them. पर उनका पूरा season is based on these two guys. इन दोनों को कुछ हो गया, they'll be suffering a lot. So again, I'm reading some rumors, परम वो मैं पूछ नहीं वाला तेरे को कैफ्रन तुरम एंड फ्रटेजी स्वैप
भाई मतलब
डीजे तेरे को घर पे आके मारेगा.
वही मैं बोलने वाला था भाई. अगर ये हुआ ना तो मैं आप मतलब मुझे फॉर अ होल मंथ आई हैव टू डू लाइक गिवअवेज एवरी वीक. ऐसा कुछ करना पड़ेगा.
अरे भाई तो परम को डीजे को ही करना गिवअवे बिकॉज़ आई थिंक ही इज गोइंग टू गो टू ट्यूरिन पर्सनली. क्या बोलता है अजय? पर्सनली जाके मार के आएगा because it's the most absurd thing I've heard. This has to be the most absurd thing, and Juventus the opposition cannot happen because Kefren Turam, since the time he's joined in, has been Juventus' best player. Last season, Motta को क्या सोचा उसने start नहीं किया after being 1-0 up against a Dutch team. He did not start Kefren, cost them the game. Bloody, it's like Pulisic is fit and Milan not starting Pulisic. It's not possible. You cannot start.
मैं बस एक चीज बोलना चाहता हूँ. Like this was actually reported by credible sources. A, that's why Chintan Bhai also asked this. B, you wouldn't put it past this management of Juventus to actually pull something like to agree to this. Chintan, like that's why we are discussing this, because अगर Chintan Bhai ये prime UA management होता तो this would not even be news. But under this UA management, the incompetence that they have, they might even consider, because एक चीज सच है, Spalletti does like Fratesi a lot. And Fratesi is trying to leave in January because उसको खेलने नहीं मिल रहा है. चलो आज रात को खेल लेगा वो, but one game like it's not going to change his mind. Mostly he's on his way out. And if someone like a UA comes in and Spalletti really likes Fratesi, Ajay bhai, you know this, और Zuri में भी उसको बहुत पसंद करता है. You never know. Again, I don't see it happening because मेरे लिए at the end of the day ऐसा कुछ होगा नहीं. But there is a possibility because of the incompetence of this Juventus management plus Spalletti being a Fratesi fanboy or whatever. I mean, if this happens, मैं तो cloud9 पे रहूंगा, because it honestly, अगर चिंतन में अपनी you brought this up, Kefren Turam would add what we are missing right now in midfield, that muscle in transition apart from Hakan. Exactly, and they will get.
क्या बॉल कैरी करता है? क्या बॉल कैरी करता है यार?
Exactly. Why do you think we want Manu? Why do you think we wanted Manu Kone Ajay bhai? Exactly the same profile, or not exactly, but you get my point. Characteristically, and Fratesi would make sense for Juventus in a way. I'm not saying he's a great player, but that box-to-box goal scoring ability is something they need. My point being, still, it is a loss for Juventus if this happens. I don't think it will.
It is, Ajay, Ajay, it is a point of discussion because it is somewhere entertained. Because
Yeah,
Sandro Tonali to Newcastle was laughable first. ये
yeah.
पागल है क्या वो थोड़ी जाने वाला है but it happened so but my point is Juventus coming my only thing is will Roma finally break the jinx because if this has to be the biggest week for Roma this has to be a 6 pointer for me for Roma Juventus will
Let
not lose much but
let me
Roma
let me let me ask you boys one question. Since 2001, okay, since Roma won the Scudetto, and from then till now, how many games have Roma won away in Turin in the league?
One,
4 3 4 2 wow
And
two.
one in the cup.
21
One in the cup. So 20 odd years, and that's
So
our record.
2020 wala has to be the one. Then
The
apart
most
from that,
recent. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, most recent. Wow, wow.
And
Let me just
so
let me
the
just
one,
let me just let me just pull up the lineup of that game, Chintan bhai. Sorry, you go ahead. I'll pulling up
yeah,
the.
yeah. The one before
I
Chintan was a John Anarisa winner,
हाँ.
93rd minute,
oh,
header jo mara tha उसने.
look look at this. So look at these lineups, guys. We were in a time when Roma last beat Juventus, right? 2020 में pandemic era में. We were in times when Nikola Kalinic scored a
Oh,
crucial goal at the Allianz. Chintan bhai, you know him very well. You had Higuain looking like Vanya Milinkovic-Savic. I mean, before Vanya Milinkovic-Savic. You had Zaniolo still at Roma. You had
and
Gonzalo Villar.
he
Uska
played
height.
very well, Zaniolo.
Yeah, you remember Chintan with the Gonzalo Villar hype in those
yeah
years.
yeah of course
Like
भाई तू
he was
Aura Fiori इधर है
Aura
Uh,
Fury. Fucking Fusato in goal.
I,
But
I, I think
Gabrota
at that
bro
time, Paul Lopez was injured, so Fuzato had to
yeah,
play.
yeah, I know. We had Chintan Bhai, the ultimate capital gains scammer Simone Muratore. Somehow Juventus sold this guy for 20 million without when he had
20
not played.
million
And
Yeah, yeah.
Frabota,
जिनोवा को
जिसको
बेचा
लोग
जिनोवा को बेचा था ना
हाँ
Uh-huh.
जेनुआ को look at that starting eleven fucking Zani Maki and Frabota क्या हो रहा है
Gabrota
I know exactly they had a lot of absentees I remember but Chintan में look at that look at that Juventus team Dowd Peters and all look that's bad like Mary Demiral the ultimate troll player oh my god Aaron Ramsey was still
Ramsey
there
अरे द अंडरटेकर भाई था चेंगिस अंडर
Go down, go down, go down, go down.
exactly जा
बेंच से देख कौन आया देख ना बेंच से देख कौन है ब्रूनो पेरेस आया
Davides Anton
सैंटोन आया
Colero was still playing. You had at least you had Mickey and Dzeko there, yeah. Oh my god. Oh my god.
This
Yeah.
was from that COVID season I remember because
Yep.
this was played under closed doors and Fonseca was the coach and which is why you saw both teams actually rotating quite heavily but
Yeah.
Gonzalo Villar starting Calafiori starting Zappa Costa starting Kalinic starting actually as well so
My
काफी ये था
god.
but Zaniolo in that game was superb like he was superb
Yeah.
he actually made Bonucci look pretty awful in that game like
This
really
man,
like
yeah. This man in his prime days was like those obviously street ballers to watch.
Streets won't forget, yeah. Streets won't forget.
Yeah, streets won't
Has,
forget type.
has given
द
me one of the
टैटू
best memories in my life so far.
but I'll come back to Juventus Chintan bhai. Ajay bhai क्या feeling है Roma side of things because obviously
Look,
आप लोग हाँ बोलो
it is the Como win was a statement win. I think it was fantastic. The way that Gasperini nullified Como and Fabregas, pretty much got Nico Pass out of the game, and Como weren't really a threat as per apart from some counters. For the XG fans and thanks to Chintan who's given me that book and which I finished now. It's been a while since I finished, but with the passes per defensive action was 6. So basically, Gasperini has got Roma pressing so much and so efficiently that Como I think had a PPD of what 6 or something I think.
yeah
I think that Gasperini का जो effect है आ रहा है धीरे धीरे करके उसके लिए Ivan Ferguson is very important because when he's fit, he does that role of pressing high up. When Roma play with a false nine with Dybala's injuries and just with his deterioration, I think he can't fulfill that role of pressing really high up, which is why I feel Sole, Ferguson, Pellegrini, this is the best trio that Roma can field at this point of time where Gasperini का जो एक tactic है, जो एक philosophy है, can be really really successful. So coming off, 2 wins away on the road in the Europa League against Celtic, a good home win against Como, confidence is high. But somehow, whenever we go to Turin, that mentality, there is a huge crumble. And if Roma concede in this game first, I don't see any way in which we can, come back and take all 3 points. It'll be very difficult. And if Gasperini can manage to do that, very few managers, like Fonseca ke pehle it was Ranieri in 2010 who went to the league and beat Juve. He'll be in those minority of coaches who've got all 3 points in Turin. Difficult game, Param. Very very difficult game.
Hmm.
And
Chintan,
Endika, what a miss.
Yeah,
yeah,
Indica
Indica
is
is
also a
good.
huge miss.
Of course, exactly. Neil, I know he as well. Again, big miss. Chintan, bhai, where do you think this game is won tactically on a tactical note, or not just tactically, even beyond that? क्या लगता है? What is the difference? What do you
Look at
think?
the look at the, like, if you go by this only, मैंने बोला था Conceição and Yildiz का, I like them. Of course, Openda, oh, I don't really, okay, fine, he's settling in, but yeah, this is where the game. Ferguson has been fantastic, and uh, he's on loan, right, Ajay?
Yeah, loan with the option to buy.
Yeah, that is, I think, a no-brainer option to buy. Matlab, has to be a no-brainer. But boss, Kefren Turam versus Manu Kone is the game changer for
Hmm.
me. Whoever is
Hmm.
going to win that physical battle in the midfield. Locatelli has been playing probably his best since Juventus जब भी आया था तभी अच्छा खेला था. I think probably this is his best season he's
Under
having under
Spalletti.
under Spalletti. Fantastic. The guy who dropped him, and he's proving a point against him. So Manu Kone different जो भी midfield dominate करेगा, but boy, that Conceição and Yildiz को अगर शांत कर दिया इन्होंने, especially
Hmm.
Yildiz को, it's going to be tough, because I think this is where Endika's physicality was needed a little bit.
Hmm.
But then
Hmm.
again, I am not a big fan of Zeki Chelik, so मेरे को that is going to be one big.
But Chintan, to be fair, he's been playing quite well. And having said that, अब मैंने बोल दिया तो भागने वाला है वो.
हाँ, मतलब it is something. Of course, let's not forget. I've been saying it again and again, Wesley probably has been Roma's best player.
Yeah.
Like
Hmm.
like Makers, I think he's been Roma's best player on the wide. Big game, but
Absolutely.
परंतु बोलेगा ना, ये midfield battle जो है, because both Kefren and Manu Kone like to carry the ball forward. वो physicality use करते हैं. They use their body to shield. They make those runs, Param. They make those
Hmm.
vital runs in the box sometimes. So it is a game of inches over here, but the entire game, Param, is based on how well Roma turn up with that belief that हाँ
Yeah.
हम लोग जीत सकते हैं.
Yeah, I think yeah, exactly. I think belief is the key word, as you said, because I think with Gasperini, that has been that, obviously with the whole pressing thing, Ajay bhai explained, apart from that, to get this lot to believe to do it so early on in the season is quite an achievement. Obviously, अभी थोड़ा वो phase out हो गया बीच में with a few losses, but again, someone like a Wesley still going strong, playing so well, coming clutch, has been their best player. I agree with you. Uh, It's just that it's a tough one because अगर आप देखो अजय भाई, अगर आज भी न्यूज में देख रहा था, डॉफबेक का future is up in the air because it's just not whatever it is, it's just not clicking with him, unfortunately for you guys. मतलब, it's not worked out. Ferguson के साथ भी the strikers have scored very less overall. It's, the sources
Yeah.
of the goal are from other areas, and in Turin, unfortunately, you cannot afford that. Whatever iteration of Juventus that is, चाहे वो इतना खराब हो, इससे भी खराब हो, या वर्ल्ड क्लास हो, जो भी है, like again they also have their own striking issues, whatever है, Openda है, ये है, वो है, but again, yeah, it's a very tough ask. So yeah, it remains to be seen. I'll come to predictions. I want you guys in the comments also to say कि आप लोग को क्या लगता है, कहाँ गेम जीता जाएगा या हारा जाएगा. प्रेडिक्शंस पे आते हैं. आपसे चालू कर दो चिंतन भाई, क्या लगता है क्या होगा इसमें?
Wow, this is tough. I would be Ajay. I would not be happy with a draw. I need a win. If I would be Roma right now, I'm looking for a win. Best time to beat them. Roma, new manager bounce नहीं बोल सकते, but yeah, they're doing well under gas. थोड़े hurdles आ गए थे Porto के सामने, but they were Roma's undo. I feel Roma haven't been bad in any of the games they've lost, especially against Inter and against Milan. So I expect this Roma to be, the more the ball they'll hold, I think they can do well. I will be thoda bold enough and I say that Roma will break that and win it. I'll go for
Ooh,
2-1.
Wow.
Wow.
Ooh.
Wow. Wow.
इस गेम में if I come to अजय भाई इस गेम में स्टोरी लाइंस बहुत है again if you know Gasperini has like that kind of
Ex
by sorry
ex UA past.
yeah ex-UA past also has a soft spot for them in the sense like he did kind of support them. You have
Soft
Luciano
spot, yeah.
Spalletti.
But he was a coach, like a youth coach with them.
I'm talking beyond the coach. Like he was
Beyond the
like
coach.
he's
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
yeah he was a Juventino growing up as per
Yeah. Yeah.
stories. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that then Luciano Spalletti obviously being the former uh,
Mahatma Spalletti, please respect him.
Mahatma Spalletti and obviously apart from that Matthias Sule, you know, lot of things going on in there. I again here I this is a very tricky one to call. मैं थोड़ा struggle कर रहा हूँ इधर because I see a much more mature Roma than ever before, and I feel that there is a possibility that Roma do something in at the Allianz. But I don't know क्या है. You know, it just somehow Roma के साथ तो कभी-कभी they just fall short at times when you think they'll perform. And I feel I'll go for a draw. I feel they'll do fine. They even without Endika, but I don't know. I just feel this will end as a draw. Like Spalletti will have the game managed and Gasperini will try his best. But yeah, I feel this ends in a draw. क्या बोलते हो अजय भाई?
देख मैं जैसा बोला कि scoring first is going to be very important. I think if UA score first, they will have that momentum and they'll have that belief to win the game as well. All 3 points. When if Roma score first, it's going to be like can we hold on? Do we have the mentality to get all 3 points from a place that has been traditionally very difficult for us to travel to? So that first goal is important. But having said that, at this point of time, I would take a nil-nil draw also. I'll take a point away on the road in Turin. If you ask me right now, I don't mind taking away a point at UA. So I'm going to go for a nil-nil draw on this one. And
Fair, fair.
by the way, but if Roma do win, I am ready to accept a challenge because we don't win enough at UA. So you
Fair.
let me know. Chat में बताओ कि क्या आप मेरे को challenge दोगे. I will do it. If Roma manage to win
अरे
and beat
बाप रे
UA,
अरे बाप रे
it's on. It's
डेंजरस
on.
डेंजरस वर्ड्स अजय भाई.
It's on.
जिस प्रेडिक्शंस कमेंट्स में चाहिए मुझे गाइस इस गेम के Sule hat-trick and he kisses the Roma badge in front of home crowd. 4-1 Roma from Abhijay. 1-0 win against Roma for UA says Rayo Khan. He's also constantly saying men and ball, so he's a big fan of Ajay bhai. 1-1 draw UA Roma says RS. But yeah, I think those are our predictions. Let me just take a few comments as we close this.
If Roma win, you cannot just no. On the contrary, मैं तो ये बोल रहा हूँ कि if Roma wins and I have predicted a Roma win, then he needs to directly tag Pariniti and post it every day.
every day every day for the rest of the season and tag
No,
Pariniti on
not for the season. मेरे को I like Mrs. Menon also. So इतना पूरा rest of the season
मैं
नहीं
तो
करना
आप
है.
कर रहा था.
मैं तो बोल रहा हूँ for 7 days he has to post about
That
one
also
something.
is enough. That also is more than enough.
7 days, 7 reels.
Yeah, 7 days, 7 reels, and Pariniti has to be tagged in all of them.
Oh.
Don't worry,
Interesting.
we'll see your content.
भाई,
And this is amazing. And this
वो
is good enough.
पॉलिटिकल पार्टी वाले बंदे आ जाएंगे मेरे घर पे.
चलेगा ना यार, चलेगा. You never know. Just imagine you turn Pariniti into a Roma fan, and this is enough incentive other than UA fans for probably the entire content creators community to push for it. Any Baba सबको बोलने वालों के ये हो गया ना, boss. And don't worry, we'll all have special appearances in the reels. So this is happening. I'm telling you, this is happening. This is Roma's Pariniti's time to be a part of Roma FC fan club.
भाई साहब,
Yeah,
भाई साहब.
manifesting that. Samuli says Sule will score. Abhijay says Sule hat trick. Sorry, ये ले लिया मैंने. No Aaron Ramsey disrespect will be tolerated. Yeah, Mota rejected L'Oreal Monaco Leverkusen. उसको पैसा मिल रहा है ना घर बैठे, वो क्यों ही ले? मतलब he does not need to rush himself, right? He's earning a fat salary. He earned a payout as well. He does not need to take a job right now. So yeah, we have just a few more comments as we close this. Sorry, not this. Someone on the stream once said if Gasperini can't do anything with Zaniolo, nothing can happen to him. Glad he proved. Yeah, अजय भाई इसको याद है exactly आपका comment.
देख
मुझे
भाई,
तो डर
I'm not the biggest fan of Zaniolo, but the things that he's done have been stupid. But I'm happy that he's on the resurgence, which is why on the story also I've shared a Zaniolo story only because happy times 2020 last win in Turin.
Mhm. What Cagliari is for Roma, Sassuolo is for both Milan clubs. That's actually a fair comparison.
Yeah.
Kasari plays for Torino. यार खेलता है इधर उधर, but obviously he's not the star he was made to be, or did not really. Maybe whatever it is, you can say the move went too soon to Chelsea. But yeah, just a few more comments and we close this. Off topic, but with his contract currently over and Cholo being at Atletico, would you all fancy Felipe Luis to Serie A for a 2-year stint or something?
Ooh, this is
Good question. Good question.
wow. Wow.
I like
Yeah,
Felipe.
yeah. Abhijay ने post किया. I'm so happy. This is, I think, the best question and comment he's posted so far.
Yeah,
No,
definitely,
this is tough
definitely.
one. Philip Luis is getting ready for a big managerial job. Not that he's not in a big managerial job. Uh, boss, this is very interesting. I know one thing: if Cholo does leave Atletico, he's coming to Inter.
Of course.
I know that. So I have a very strong feeling he's coming to Inter. But I can see this happening. I can see this happening. But
Hmm.
kudos to Philip Luis. He looks like yeah, Param, he looks like that mean manager on the bench, right? The body tight clothes and
Yeah,
looks
yeah.
looks like proper.
He, yeah, he's a उसका his journey यार has been so interesting. चिंतन भाई मतलब चेल्सी पे पता है वो एक सीजन गया वो काम नहीं हुआ फिर he just went back to Atletico and worked out perfectly well. Went to Flamengo as a player, won the Libertadores, बेंचो कोच भी बन गया उधर भी Libertadores जीत गया मतलब लाइफ शॉर्ट हो गई बंदे की. I mean, he has a lot to do, but just and it's not fluke. Or it's not like things were handed to him. Chindan bhai, जैसे आपने बोला, tactically a genius, man management, he's very good. He knows how to handle things, and I can see him in the Serie. I don't know where, but I definitely ये तो लिखा है कि एटलेटिको मैड्रिड का कोच बनने वाला है आगे डेस्टिनी.
100%.
Yeah, he's going to do a Cholo type run in my opinion. Once Cholo goes, this guy is going to go there, do a Cholo
Yeah,
type
yeah,
run.
long run. And he seems to be a loyalist also. He's going to stick there, I
Yeah,
think. He's not
exactly,
shaken
exactly.
attracted by money or something. He'll stay there unless, of course, Atletico kicks him out.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I imagine a world where once Cholo leaves, Cholo comes here to Inter, and then Felipe Luis goes to Atletico Madrid. But maybe Cholo will be past his prime by that point, so maybe I might have to reconsider my wish list over there. ये ऑरा बंद करो भाई. उसका बाल वैसा पीछे कर दिया तो ऑरा आ गया. उसके ऑरा उसके गेम में उसके बालों की वजह से नहीं है. ही बढ़िया. He's a very good coach. And yeah, I mean, I hope to see him in the Serie A. Honestly, Chintan, I hope to see him in the Serie A. He'll get a lot of traction also if you really think about it, because how he's done a lot here. He's achieved a lot. So yeah. Anything else, guys? Anything you want to say? Anything Chintan by Ajay you want to say as we close this stream?
Yeah, भाई बस मेरे लिए तो कब खत्म हो गया भाई. Back to reality. Top 4 मिल जाए बहुत
Serie A
है भाई.
focus. Serie A focus.
I'm going to be like you
मैं
guys. Top 4 चाहिए बस और कुछ नहीं.
बस बस मैं एक ही
Yeah.
चीज बोलूंगा. कैपेचिनो पे चर्चा की 7th एपिसोड आने वाली है कल. It is with Liverpool. It's on Liverpool rather with Neil, who's the president of LFC Mumbai, and our very own Manas of Menace and the Monk. So do tune in. Kal ka episode I would say one of the last episodes or second last episodes coming out in season 1. So वो support करना देखना
And probably one
Cappuccino
of the
पे
best.
चर्चा.
And probably one of the best.
Definitely, definitely.
Probably one of
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
best
absolutely.
developers out there.
एक funny चीज थी. UA sources were talking a lot about how apparently
Yeah.
Jonathan David was frozen out, not frozen out, but he was not given as much attention by the UA locker. And this is what Spalletti had to say about this. They were right not to take David to dinner the first time they invited him. He created parmesan over clams, pasta, and never. भाई ये चिंतन में मुझे बताओ ये क्या है ये नॉर्थ अमेरिकन का मकेनी और अभी जॉनथन डेविड क्या है ये.
तू
Yeah.
culinary वाला है परम. तू बता
तू
how
बता भाई.
sacred it is to
This
put
is a
parmesan
crime.
cheese over
Yeah,
seafood.
I mean, do you imagine grating cheese over like over pasta? That like,
Explain it in desi terms. अपने को ये सब नहीं पता. तू Indianize करके
समझाता
बोलिए
हूँ
क्या.
समझाता हूँ.
What is
आप
the
समझो
analogy?
आप समझो आप एक डिश बताओ जो आपको पसंद है अजय भाई. चिंतन
पाव
भाई कोई
भाजी.
भी
कल पाव भाजी
पाव
दिखा
How
मैं.
this was a podcast.
हाँ पाव भाजी पे आप फ्रूट्स डाल दो. सिंपल एज गुड एज दैट.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say chunks of fruit as bad as that.
मतलब कांदा नहीं, टमाटर नहीं, उसके ऊपर
नहीं
ऐसा
नहीं, हाँ मतलब फ्रूट्स डाल लेगा ऐसा
पाइनएप्पल ऑन पाव भाजी, fuck, पाइनएप्पल ऑन
पिज्जा
पाव,
पिज्जा ऑन सॉरी पाइनएप्पल ऑन पिज्जा सुना था. अबे
पाइनएप्पल ऑन पाव भाजी.
ये क्या है भाई? somebody generated an image also.
मुझे
This is
पता था
insane.
कि अभिजय अभी बोलेगा कि टोमेटो इज अ फ्रूट, मुझे लगा ही था ये बोलने वाला है ये.
Yeah, tomato is a fruit, definitely. That's a whole big debate. Yeah, I had done it. I had done a lot of culinary courses before, so yeah. Oh, yeah.
Param is the in-house chef of Calcio Chacha, the
Maybe
resident
once
head
we
chef.
once we grow, we can have some food items. Maybe Chintan bhai can brand it for us, and Ajay bhai can add his touch to it, and we can sell it to you guys. क्या बोलते हैं क्या पता? Yeah, sorry, but Ajay bhai, you want to say anything as we close the stream?
नहीं यार, so let Param cook and watch Cappuccino पे चर्चा, support करो उसको, share करो,
Yeah, please.
and hopefully we can do bigger things in season 2.
Yeah, please watch कैपुचिनो पे चर्चा. वो ऑलमोस्ट खत्म हो गया. प्लीज डू सब्सक्राइब टू अजय भाई चैनल. उनका एफकॉन प्रीव्यू आने वाला है. अनफॉर्चुनेटली आई
Sunday.
कुड नॉट बी ऑन इट. Yeah, Sunday I could not be on it. I missed out on it. But him and Shivam have done a great job. Baba, so he collabed with Baba on a reel for AFCON as well.
अरे
And
he
if you
collab with the Baba was kind enough to call me over
obviously,
there यार.
it's a collab at the end of the day. What do you want me to say? But yeah, definitely AFCON starts Monday if you guys are interested. And yeah, definitely please do subscribe to the channel. We will see you guys very soon. Super Coppa in just over an hour. So if you guys are interested, DAZN पे होगा या फिर illegal streams पे देख लो. Lineups आ जाएंगी अभी कुछ 15 मिनट में. So yeah, we'll see you guys very soon. Ciao, ciao. Thank you for tuning in.